Hey friends, if you're an e-commerce brand, people just tell you to improve your emails, to improve your flows, to send more, to improve deliverability, the funnel, everything. But nobody actually shows you the ROI, the actual calculation of how much this can bring you. Because sometimes if you're making it just doesn't make sense to change stuff out too soon, right? So in this video, I'm going to show you the internal calculator that we use. We've built the calculator. Let's get into it. So here's the calculator. Right here, the ready version. And how is it calculated? Let's just cover this real quick. So the calculator works on these 5 pillars. Number 1 is the flows, right? So each flow is seized of Klaviyo's published revenue per recipient. A welcome flow makes about 2.65 per new subscriber, and abandoned cart about 3.65, and so down goes the list. Like, there are a lot of these benchmarks that Klaviyo have published themselves that we used on. A flow you do not run counts its full benchmark. A flow you run counts only the gap. You're already making $2,000 from your welcome flow, but according to the calculation, you should be making $4,000. The end result will only get that difference, the gap that you have, the $2,000 gap that you have, it will only calculate that, right? So this is how it works. There's the second one is a one-time blast, right? So there are some flows like never bought flow, like second order Winback flows that only work when customers buy from you, right? So currently, if you don't have those flows, we have this one-time blast calculation that determines if you would implement this flow right now and trigger people who bought from you, how much money can you expect from it, right? So this is on top of the flows. One-time blast is on top. Number 3 is the broadcasts. We do measure the broadcasts and we do see and watch of what can you expect from your broadcast, right? So the Klaviyo's data shows campaigns are about half of stores no revenue, and that's how the calculation goes. And email is 20 to 40% of total store revenue for a well brand. So a well-run campaign program is about 10 to 16%, right? Which totally make like 40 to 50% of the total store revenue. That's absolutely normal for brands who are doing it right. Now, the 4th pillar is we do not count every dollar, right? So some sales would have happened anyway. So the numbers stay at very conservative end. I specifically made it very conservative because people just sign up for a list, but even if they wouldn't sign up, some of them would buy anyways, right? Email don't really play a role in their buying decision. And number 5 is you need to check your inputs first. Like, we had a recent call where we were discussing stuff with a potential client, and they were like, wow, this calculator is really aiming high. It's not conservative. I don't believe you can achieve this because some people don't achieve this within 3 years. I don't believe you guys. And then we rechecked the inputs, the actual measures, the variables from their Klaviyo account. And it turns out we just added an extra 0, right? And so that's ruined the whole thing. So make sure you first double check the inputs, and then so you can receive an outcome that is realistic and conservative. Moreover, I also give this range to have space. Obviously, I can't give you the exact number. That's just impossible. But the range is here, right? The lower estimate and the higher estimate is right there. With that being said, let's just quickly go into an example that I'm going to show you. So let's say your store have monthly orders of $1,900. Let's make it $2,000. 2,000 orders. You can look it up inside your Shopify. That's very clear. Then you need your average order value. Let's say it's about $90 over. You need, if it's best to put monthly website visitors. If you don't have it, it's completely fine. The calculator is smart and it's going to estimate, right? It's completely fine. I'm going to use the estimation for the sole purpose of this video here. You need to put the monthly pop-up signups. So going to Klaviyo, go to the sign-up forms and take a look at how much sign-ups you get per month. It's best to look over 90 days, right? So 3 months, and then divide it by 3. That way you get an average. But it's fine if you look 30 days back, it's also completely fine, right? It is an estimator after all. Then you need how many people are on your list right now. These are active people, not those that are subscribed. All people that you can send email to. Now, in here, when you will go into the calculator, when you'll access it in the second link in the description, you click on more detail and it sharpens the estimate. And what here you need to do, you need to just simply get a pop-up capture rate, right? So how much of your monthly website visitors actually click and sign up for the pop-up. You can look it up both in Shopify, and I believe in Klaviyo, you can also set this up in a way you can look it up. And then usually it's about 4%, and that's why 3%, and that's why the default here is 3%. If you don't know it, just leave it at that. You can even move it to 4%, it's completely fine. And then you need, like, this is very cool to do. If you have people like on your list that already bought from you one time, just put how many of those, right? Let's say out of 40,000 people, 20K people bought from us already. And that's why we're moving now into the second section, which is what you're currently making from your current flows. Now, again, if you don't put anything, if you just don't do anything, it's going to take an estimate, and they're pretty accurate. But let's say you're making about $1,000 from your abandoned cart flow. You have a welcome flow that makes you a 3K, 4K, right? There's a, I don't know, cross-sell flow. Let's say you have a cross-sell flow that makes you $500 per month. Right? All these are per month, just to make sure. Now, here's what you get. You get a full estimate, and then you can switch tabs here. So this is flows only, right? Not even counting the broadcast email that you will send, like 5 broadcast emails. This is usually the range. But only flows can bring you in extra 14,200 and 35,800, like anywhere between that. But on top of that, there's a one-time blast, as I told you. A one-time blast can bring you anywhere between 6K and 15K. An estimate for the first 90 days, anywhere between 49 and 122,000. And this is also compounds. It also, as I said, the calculator is smart. So it doesn't work with this. It doesn't just multiply this by 3. It also considers that you will keep getting more signups and pop-ups, and that's how it increases. And obviously, the first year, 176K and 445K, right? That's the range. If you click on this, it will just automatically does the thing for you, right? You don't need to input anything here. You get anywhere between this amount of money, flows about this, and broadcasts about this. Again, where it comes from, this. So it makes about half of the store's email revenue, and email flows 20 to 40%, and the rest of it is about the broadcast. And also it gives you a nice overview showing where the money is, right? Where is your biggest gap? Usually, for example, here it says, hey, your biggest gap is the broadcast emails. You need to set your broadcast. Oh, by the way, yes, I forgot to show you. You need to also put, if you want an accurate estimate of the broadcast emails, you need to put how many email broadcasts you're sending per week. Let's say you're sending 3, right? And how much money they're making you. Let's say 4K, right? And so in this case, once again, it shows you the estimate, it adjusts the estimate, and it shows you your biggest gap is the broadcast. Second biggest gap is that you need a better pop-up, right? And if you would implement a pop-up that it actually converts at about 8%, I believe, that's just the lower estimate that we use. Again, it's very conservative. Usually we get it to 10, 15, 80, sometimes percent. And so it shows you the gaps. Hey, so I just found out that an average e-commerce store makes 27% of their total store revenue from emails. A top performer makes about 30 to 40% of their total store revenue. And top performers make 50 to 60%. That's like half of their business. Now, the way they pull it off, obviously, yes, we can talk about the design, the beauty, all of the automation, fancy stuff. We can talk about that, but nobody talks about the fundamentals, which is how to grow your email list. In this video, I'm going to show you the actual research-based tactics and studies to be able to grow your list and generate you more revenue. With that being said, let's get into the presentation. Now, and so here's a little graph, right? This is directly from Klaviyo, which is the biggest email sender software out there, right? An average brand makes about 27% of their total store revenue from emails. 41% of email revenue comes from email flows, the automations. 5.3% of sends produce it, like the broadcast emails, and it's 18 times revenue per recipient versus a campaign, right? So if we remove the campaigns, it's 18% more revenue. If we jump to strong direct-to-customer e-commerce brands who actually nailed their model, they have on average about 38% from email. And I'm not even talking about SMS in both of these, right? 41% of them, email comes from email flows. 4.3% of sends produce it. And once again, 18% more than the campaign. People and e-commerce brands who passed 20 million, most of them have 55% on average from email revenue. 41% of email revenue comes from flows, 5.3 here, 18%, 18x here. And so how do they do it? We're just going to break it down right now, and you're going to be able to steal it for yourself and do it yourself. Now, every single day, list is leaking. We know that, right? There's unsubscribes, there's subscribes, but for some reason, most people focus on decreasing unsubscribe, which is, I don't think it's the tactic, because it's just natural. People unsubscribe, and that's actually a good thing because they won't open your emails. If they don't unsubscribe, they won't open your emails, which will mark you as spam. So let them unsubscribe. Let more people who are more engaged open your email and improve your deliverability. So it makes you more money if they unsubscribe. Now, again, most people just try to save up and please don't unsubscribe and hide unsubscribes, but it naturally happens. Like, let's say you don't do anything today and you have 50,000 people on your list. Over the years, let's say it decays on average about 23% of the year, right? So Zerobound, the software, it's one of the biggest software, and it is basically, it made a study and determines 23% of all subscribers just unsubscribe, right? So by month 24, let's say within 2 years, you're almost at half, like 30K, if you don't do anything. So it naturally happens. Now, the way to be able to attack that is take the frame of, I'm going to increase subscribes instead of I'm going to decrease unsubscribe. So you need to look at 3 numbers to be able to determine whether you're growing or you're growing down, right? So if you're, let's say your monthly visitors on your website is $40,000 for 40,000 people, and your opt-in rate, so people who visited to those that opt-in, you can look this number up in Shopify and Klaviyo. Let's say your app opt-in is about 2%. And right now, the list size is 50,000 people. Now, what will happen is that new subscribers you get is about 800. But lost subscribers is about 958. So your net per month minus 158, right? So your break-even point should be at about 0.4%, right? And again, if you want this entire presentation and play around with the calculator right here, second link in the description, you can grab it, right? Now, let's get back. So 2.4, you're basically barely holding. You're getting like two net new subscribers. Now, what the average brand does with their pop-up, right? The pop-up rate, the normal one is like 6.5%. And you now see that, hey, yes, you lost a lot of people, but this is how much more you gain, right? So you're growing at 3.3% a month. So now we've determined, you're going to use this calculator and determine at what percent you're growing per month. And as you can see, every single number here, everything here moves only one number, which is the opt-in rate. Now, where do subscribers actually come from on that opt-in? There are 3 places on your website. Actually, there are 4 places on your website that basically collect opt-in, right? There is a pop-up. So within a certain amount of period, there'll be a pop-up saying, hey, sign up for our list, and this is our offer. Basically, most of people will go there, right? It reaches the visitor who had never gone for a hunt for a form, but it converts at 2-3x to more than an inline form, right? Some just like a pop-up that's inline, it converts 2 to 3x more, simply because people feel more committed to it, right? And so the exit intent or scroll triggered versions capture 137% more subscribers than a passive embed. And so what that means is there's also a couple of things that you can do, such as if someone goes to exit button, you make them pop up, but it doesn't work. Like on the phone, most people scroll on phone and you can't track whether I'm doing this or this, right? On the phone, they're just taking them at the screen. It doesn't work well. So you best to avoid that. It's very buggy. There's the second place, which is the checkout opt-in, right? So on the checkout, there's an opt-in. There's the third place, which is the footer embed. So when you scroll down through the website, there's this sign up for a newsletter. And the number 4 actually, is the sign up page. There's a sign up page, kind of log into your accounts that also gets them the super bad. Just make sure all of these 4 actually are set up correctly in a way that all of these 4 route the emails to your email list. Because I see it a lot of times when there's a sign up page, like a login page, but that email never goes to the email list, which is completely nuts because these are the warmest people that they logged into their account. So regardless, so now here's what a lot of people get messed up. People think that if they make a pop-up and they just put an email, that's enough. But this study, right, this Wise Pop study, 1 billion pop-up displays in 2026, it showed that multi-stat pop-up converts at 5.17% versus single stat 4.62%, right? And these numbers are in comparison, so they make the same offer here. And what they did is tested this offer, get 20% off your first order, and they just showed an email. And then they tested wants 20% off. Yes, I want it. I have to click on it, and then email pops up. And it appears that the 2-step performed much better. So this is not a little, it's pretty significant when you jump from 4.62 to 5.17. Right? It's literally pretty significant. I think it's about 20% increase. I know, maybe 12% increase. Still, like a lot. So there's another tactic that you can use, which is a quiz pop-up. And so you simply ask them a question, and based on that question, you then send people into dynamically the emails. Let's say they choose basically everyday cooking, right? Your Klaviyo profile, this is like the code back end of it. It will say, okay, cooking interest every day. So we need to send them the everyday cookie kind of emails, right? And then it asks for your email. Reason what works well, for example, this brand, Jones Road Beauty, runs paid traffic into a quiz that gates results behind an email, obtained AI reports, drove 800,000 leads, about 80% of the whole list. Listed average order value from $6 to $9, and it converts at 16%. 16% of your total website visitors. Insane, right? So you need to be able to manage this as well. Just make sure you set it up, and then each email gets personalized, not generic, personalized email per each answer that they make. That's the game changer. Obviously, first you need to have an offer as well, right? If there's no offer, you're literally maybe not making as double. Now, first of all, you need to have an offer as well. Offer is not necessarily just like exclusive updates or join our newsletter or early access or be the first one to know, right? An offer is something enticing to buy. It's something specific. 20% off your first order, a free gift worth of $29, free shipping, no minimum, mystery discount. Even this free shipping is like a little bit shady, but I'll still put it in the offer section, right? So if you put an offer on your pop-up, you will increase pop-up capture by miles, right? This is very conservative number, by the way. I don't think 3.8%. This is not the case, right? And sometimes in the case, obviously for this study, right? This is all based on studies. This company had 3.83%, and on desktop 1.84. When they put an offer there, instead of just saying sign up for a newsletter, they tripled some metrics. Like for this one, it tripled. And for this one, it doubled for mobile, right? So very, very cool, very, very crucial to your pop-up game. Now, a lot of people ask, well, I have to make a % off or $1 off. I don't know which one works best. Well, it's this very simple math equation. This company, right, also made a study. I think it's in university somewhere. They made a study, and it showed that basically putting $1 off is better whenever the order value is more than $100 compared to a 20% off. I'm going to explain, right? So let's say you have 10% off. So let's say your product price is $60, then the number will say 10% off, but in reality, it will be like $6, right? So 10% off, $6. So people will be like, should I choose this or should I choose this? Now, as you see, this number is higher, right? So this number is although this number is the same thing. People are drawn to higher numbers. Doesn't make sense, but it's true. So up until it gets to about $100, you should stay with that 10% off because the number is higher. Once it flips to $100, you can use either of them, and then after it goes up, obviously dollar off wins, right? That's how you should do it. The dollar off wins on orders that are more, that the number is more than the percentage. So let's say you want to do 18%. Well, does 18% on your product is more of a number if you use a dollar, right? If yes, use a dollar. So hope that clears things out. And now you need to make sure the email also is now I can fill your email list with just bunch of random people, and it will be growing, but it won't make any use of it, or you won't make any use of it. So you need to make sure the right people join your list. So for example, the study shows that around 90% of subscribers who receive a code will use it. So margin goes on the first order. Scale reports store credit, lifting customer lifetime value to 2 to 3% more than a discount. Customer lifetime value is simply how much of a customer worth to you, how many times they buy over their lifetime, right? And so what happens is that if you test two different pop-ups, two different things, right? And you run them for like 90 days, you will simply realize that people who just joined for that percent off or dollar off, they're not as active as those people who joined for the brand. They love your brand. And the way you make them love your brand is you either give a gift, instead of framing it as a percent off, you say gift, a free gift, a resource, or store credit, right? These three absolutely whip. And so what will happen is you will end up within 90 days out of got like 100 people, 18 of them who are still buying. Compared to people who've joined for your brand, there are 41 of them who are still buying, right? So you need to make sure you either frame it differently as well. So let's say a watch, right? A watch costs, I don't know, $100, and you're also giving $100 off. Well, just say a free watch if you buy above $500 packages or something, right? Just make sure it's the same thing in terms of your margin. It just framing is different. But once again, you need to test this out because sometimes this is not accurate at all, and percent off and dollar off win, and that's why I talked about it previously. Now you know how to build the pop-up, and when should you even pop that out, right? Where should the pop-up exist? Well, the 6 seconds is the perfect timeline. So if you do 0 to 2 seconds, that's a lot of brands do it. It's too early. If you do about 9 to 15 seconds, you're already losing them, but it's completely fine sometimes. And 16 seconds and more, they're already left. It's just gone. So you won't be able to convert people there. What you need to do is you fire your pop-up at about 4 to 8 seconds. So there's a source, there's a Wise Pops, right? They made a study that showed that. And so it fires just like this within 7 seconds, and it asks for the email or makes the offer. Now, there are 10 words maximum on your pop-up that you need to change, and the framing. Now, here's a rule I use on the pop-ups based on another study, and it's basically 10 words rule, 10 words maximum rule. So this source, Pop-Up Smart, found that simplest pop-up or 1 or 2 fields converts the highest. You've got frames the offer as already on. So closing the form means giving something up. Adding one compressed image to a desktop form took conversion from 2.63% to 4.3%, which is like almost 80%, right? Which is like 63% lift. And on mobile, you drop the image. So the point of this, of what I'm saying, is the 10-word rule simply makes sure it stays simple. So instead of saying save on your first order when you sign up for your emails only offers, and you now have 17% or 17 words in total over here, just say you've got 20% off, right? That already lowers it to 8 words. And in here, just instead of saying limited time only, say it's already yours. Right, just take it. The limited time only, like such an overused word, nobody believes it at all. And button says claim now, not continue, right? Claim now, right now, just do it, and then that's about it. So it will make people convert. So 9 words over here, it's better than 18 words previously and much, much more simple. Another tactic that you should use, there's a study as well. Average SMS opt-in is 1.8 to 2.2% of site visitors. And incentive-based opt-in convert about 54% better. E-commerce SMS flows convert at 12 to 18%. Consent is separate and explicit for each channel and never pre-checked. And so how you should frame it is you should never ask for both a phone number and email at the same time, right? You need to make sure you asked for the email. After you ask, do you want it? They click on, do you want it? Then you ask for the email. And only then you ask for the phone number. And the reason being because once they put their email in, they're now more committed. They're like, okay, I'm gonna put my phone number as well. I just want a discount. I'm already halfway through. Whereas in this case, yes, they get to see both of them at the same time, but then the initial desire will be like, I don't want to do this, and I don't think it's worth it, right? Although it doesn't make sense, but it's just true. Just make sure one word, one field at a time. Now here are the 5 other doors that you have except the pop-up that you need to put to be able to drive more email revenue or email list, right? Email subscribers. So the ad itself can bring more email subscribers if you're collecting emails on the ads. There's a checkout, so people buy from you, right? Or people are ready to buy and they enter their email, but they exit the checkout. Those people as well. After their order, obviously those that buy. In the box, so a card in a box, like something like a QR code, a keyword to text, YouTube video. In the box, so if you're doing some events, if you're outdoors, you can simply put a QR code. That's how can people subscribe. And their friends, inside their emails, offer incentive to not necessarily buy your products from friends, but just join your email list. Like, hey, if you send this email and some of your friends join the email list, you get an X% off, right? And that it's such an easy ask. It's just an email subscribe. They'll do it. Now, here's what you need to be careful with your email list numbers. So this study shows that they made 2 tests, and they make 2 pop-ups. One of them is spin to win, right? The thing. And another one is a quiz and a free gift. And so what the pop-up capture was on the spin to win is 11.2%. That's insane, right? There's 11 people out of like 100 people. It's insane. And in here, in the quiz pop-up, it was like about 6.4%. But guess which one brought more revenue, right? Guess which one? The quiz one. By 4 times, almost 4 times, 3 or something times, right? Insane. And so why? It's because quiz and a free gift attracted more quality people and people who are committed instead of just spin to win casino people, brain rot type of stuff. So not only you need to track your pop-up capture rate, you also need to track your signups by source. So which places get you more signups and the 90-day revenue generated from that list to be able to judge whether it worked or not. Now here are the 7 tests that you need to do right now with me, alongside me, right? So, do you have the offer set up on your pop-up? Do you have, which kind of form type do you have? Do you have a quiz? Do you have a commitment before they even join your email list? Do you have the close? So, quarter X is labeled the landlord. Where is your close on your pop-up, right? It will close meaning cancel. Is it on the left? Is it on the right? Right? Because it should be on the left, by the way. The delay. How long is your delay? Is it 48 seconds? The image. Do you have an image on your pop-up on the desktop or some sort of interactive image? And on phone, do you turn off that image, right? Do you have the right copy under 10 words? And do you have a native colors? Basically, it's the last thing that matters, right? As you can see, all these things matters in order. So colors, last thing that matters, but also listen, over the past few years, e-commerce brands realized that they need a pop-up on their website to be able to capture more leads and more emails.
now in 2026 and beyond, they're now realizing that those simple generic pop-ups like get a discount, give me your emails for updates, don't work anymore. People already know they'll be blasted by emails. People already know that there's no really a lot of value for them in that exchange. In this video, I'm going to show you how brands solve this problem by making unique and creative pop-up forms on there. It's very cool. Now, let's take a look at the versions I made, and you'll be amazed, you'll be convinced that you can do this yourself without any external coders and software, any knowledge coding experience. I certainly don't have any, but I made them for you. So, first we got Ronaldo and his underwear brand. This is their current pop-up, right? It's very generic, just like new to CR7. Again, the ones that I told you about, very old-fashioned one. And you just type in your email, and it's very easy to exit. What I've built for them, because Ronaldo is a football player or a soccer player, I just built this pop-up with a penalty shoot. And then you shoot, and obviously whatever you shoot straight, it'll still be a goal. And then now it feels like a commitment. It feels like something I did. It's not like I did something to get that discount. But obviously I will get it once I submit the email, right? Very easy, low ask. Here's another one. I just made a scratch here just to prove the point that it also can be made with Claude, right? So if you scratch and then, yes, it will give you the headband. Very cool. Another one is for Feastables. Now, this is their current one, right? It's a Mr. Beast's company. Very cool company and very cool colors. But again, like it does look very nice. Look at this colors and fonts. But it just asks for get first dibs, snacks, sweet surprise straight into your inbox. And then it's just like email, and it doesn't engage me in. It is pretty easy to escape because there's a big no button. And there's also one no button that says no thanks, right? Very big. It just doesn't convert as well. What I built for them is something that is related to their product. So what will happen is, it says there is a price under this wrapper, and I'll be like, I want to look at how. First of all, I want to look at how the chocolate looks, but I also want the price. So I'll just do this, and then boom. Again, I think I clicked away, but yeah, you saw it. It's basically an email. Ask me for email, and then my price will be delivered into my mailbox. Now, another example I built is for a brand Prime. You all know the brand from KSI and Logan Paul. Essentially, they have this drink, right? Their current pop-up looks like this, which is super ugly, like probably the worst out of all of them. It just says first name, it asks for my email and my phone number at the same time. It also says subscribe. Also, this giant text of terms and policy. Will they steal my information? What's going on here, right? So it's super high commitment, very easy to click away, very small as well. I can just click away here and that's it. Nothing will happen. Now, the version I made for them is a gamified version, right? So again, it says crack the vault. And then it will say like, okay, let me try this code. All right. It says nope. It says yes. Yes. And then you can see like I failed the code, but it says as, yeah, you're close enough. You still get the 10% discount, all good, right? But you just still get it. If you would open it, you'll get a 15%, but like 10%. This is more of a gamified version, but it's still not making a person think that they lost the game. It's still like win for them because they get the 10% discount if they submit their email. This is one of the more gamified versions that you can put as well and test it out. And so after seeing all of this, you now need to just understand the psychology behind building these before you actually try to build this yourself. Because not every pop-up matches with every brand. You need to make sure it's correct for your brand and your situation. And also make sure every single step of the pop-up is laid out correctly. I'm going to show you what are the examples. So first of all, one of the things that is crucial to nail is to make sure you ask last and not ask first. If you ask first, this is basically the friction that creates the people, that makes people exit, right? You'll ask for their email and they'll just leave. That is the friction. But if you just go and do this, you first ask, pick what you're shopping for, pick what you've tried. Here's your match. Where do we send it to? You just told us, where do we send it to? And then it naturally goes into that email, right? So it all should naturally flow. It's like a conversation. It's not simply just random types of words. It is a conversation between you and your customer over the website. Now, the next thing you need to make sure you absolutely nail is you need to make sure you have the right questions when you do ask questions, right? When you don't have those interactive gamified pop-ups and you want to actually make sure your pop-ups are super personalized to the person, you need to make sure you ask questions the right way. So you first ask, okay, what are you shopping for? And you give them options, right? So they'll click on options and they'll be like, hey, what have you already tried? And then if they click none of them or click some of them, you store that data, right? And what happens with people is people want to finish things. Like if they try to just answer a couple of questions and they see that there's two more until they get a discount, they will go ahead and answer it. And guess what you have? You have now more data, and I'm going to show you what to do with that data later, right? And so then you'll ask, well, which one do you prefer? And then it's more personalized now because based on these two answers, you give them a solution, a dynamic solution, and they'll be like, this is actually feels really, really relevant to me. And they'll click on that. And then an optional ask is like, how soon do you need? Because if someone needs it like right now, they're more tolerant to more emails. So you can dynamically change it in your flows and send those people more emails than those people who have said, maybe I even next month or something, right? And so, yeah, and the final one will be obviously, where do we send your match? And that's exactly how you phrase your email capture. You don't say, give me your email, I'll send you this. You just say, where do I send it? You just ask me to do all of this for you. Where do I send it, right? And that way you will get them in really, really easily. Now, another thing you need to absolutely nail when you do these personalized pop-ups, you need to make sure you don't just offer one discount every single time. Or you just say, hey, save $10, save this, save that. Instead, what you can do is you can either give them a store credit, and it depends on their answers, or you can simply give them a credit per the item they chose. For example, let's say they went through that quiz and they are now choosing dry skin, or maybe a visitor by now chooses the beginner kit or fragrance free or travel size kit, right? What you can do is you can just literally put those people in different segments, email those people different kinds of emails, and it will now feel like personalized one-on-one messages from you. And now it goes exponential because the more personalized your messages, the more responses you will get, the more clicks you will get, and the more times you will land in the primary inbox, right? So it's like an attack from everybody. You just improve in every single manner. And so now, as I said, you have all of this data. You hook them in. They've answered all of the questions. They've went through more stuff than they would otherwise went through. You now use that information in your email sequences and make it personalized. So for example, for dry skin, you'll say something like, hey, for dry skin, start here. And they just basically told you their goal is dry skin. And then you'll be like, hey, this is how you do it. You told me this, and this is how you do it, right? Again, very personalized. Tried retinol, right? Again, and this is very product niche, but you got the point. I want to make sure you understand the logic, not necessarily the wording specifically. Another point that I've a little bit mentioned earlier is that you need to make sure it's not a real game where they can lose, right? We don't want customers losing because they'll just exit. They don't like you anymore. I lost the game. It's another casino. It's another lottery. You need to make sure every single outcome goes to winning, right? So if you have this kind of circle and they want to spin it to be able to get their email. So what you do is you, instead of saying, hey, you don't get anything if you go to the white one, in here you say, hey, if you go to the yellow one or the orange one, you'll get something. If you get to the green one, you'll get even more, right? That way they don't at least like lose hope in you. They'll be like, yeah, they're very nice. They're giving me options for this. Now let's put this into a little math before you go ahead and create all of these skills. Listen, e-commerce brands already know that they need more flows built out for their email. Competition in e-com is higher than ever, and that's why your cost to get a customer is higher than ever. You need to maximize your revenue from your current ad spend, from your current website visitors, And that's what we're going to cover today. I'm going to show you the 9 email flows your store must have so you can then move your email revenue generated to about 40% or 50% of the entire store revenue. Those 9 email flows will divide into 2 stages. First 6 will be focused on visitors who haven't bought yet, and the last 3 will be focused on customers who already bought something and you want to sell them something else or win them back if they haven't bought in a while. You're also going to learn about the proper discount ladder you should use to not kill your margins and absolutely destroy your margins when you start blasting those offers to your customers. First flow is the welcome flow. It fires immediately as soon as pop-ups in 2026. You can go ahead and watch that video after you watch this one. In these welcome series emails, these people are the friendliest peoples on earth. First email starts with the offer. So whatever you promise them to get them to sign in, you give that offer into your phrase. The next couple of emails will go into your products and why it's good and educate them on your company. And there's the last email on that flow that tells them, hey, it's running out. You better use your discount and so forth. So let me give you an example of how it actually looks. I've just took a random email from my mailbox. It's from this company. And as you can see, they have this welcome email. It says, we saved you a seat, right? It's very interesting, very creative. And immediately it gives the discount. And it also gives the code right on top. They did it right here. I didn't like really the headline, but they did right with the email code. And obviously they showcase their products over here, and then they have this button over here. I would just put the button up right just to make sure, because like 50% of people just see the first scene and they exit the email. So might as well put your button up right there. And the rest, obviously it goes into, okay, this is how it works. And this is how you can shop. Other products that they have, also other buttons. Very simple, very straightforward to their needs. So how many of these should you send to your customers? Anywhere between 3 to 8 emails is perfect for welcome emails. If you sell something cheaper, it makes sense to do it 3 to 4. And if that's something expensive, more so 6, 8 emails will make it. Make sure in the last email you emphasize that they haven't used the code yet. Second email is the browse abandonment email. Here it fires when people go to your website and browse, then click on your product and didn't add it to their bag or to their cart, and they exit. That's when the browse abandonment email fires in, and I'm gonna show you how it looks. Again, not always you should do these fancy designs. Sometimes this founder-led browse abandonment email works perfect, right? It just says, hey there, looks like you took an interest in one of your products but didn't end up pulling the trigger. Continue browsing. There's one link here and there's nothing else. So I know exactly what you do. It feels like an email personally to me, right? So I'm going to click on it. This is a great example over here. The first email goes about an hour after they have browsed, and you should send 3 to 5 emails for the specific flow. The third one is the abandoned cart flow. Very similar concept here, but here people actually have added that item into their cart and they have exited. That's where your flow comes in and it fires up. Let me show you how it looks. This is a great example of an abandoned cart, right? It's very personalized. It says, we think you have to have it. And it says, make it a reality with 20% off your entire order. Use code this. Actually, now that I look at it, it is not a great example. The design looks great, but the offer really is bad. And I'm going to cover that later when I go over discount ladder. And also they have this second CTA, which I really like, book a consult, right? This already handles an objection. Hey, I don't know what to do. I don't want to choose. Hey, we have a consult to do it for you. Very, very nice. There's one more abandoned flow, which is abandoned checkout. Here, they've added the item to the bag. They've clicked on the checkout. They were about to pay and enter the shipping information, and they exit. And this one you fire immediately, like within 5 minutes, as soon as they exit that page. Let me show you how it looks. So this is an email I got, and the subject line says, your order is ready to ship, right? As if I already basically have almost bought it, which is the truth, by the way. And so it says, hey, complete your look, buy one, get one free, plus extra 5% off is valid for your order. Now, this is not a new really discount. This is the discount that they have already gave me when I was purchasing it, which is nice. And so it says, use code welcome5 and then we finish my order, it shows me what my order was, right? And then it shows me how it looks. Like, look at this. Very nice. It shows me how it will look like if I put it on, right? And so very short as well. That's exactly how your abandoned checkout email flow looks like. It's simply to remind them, hey, you've left it and you have this discount, use it to be able to get it. For this one, you can be more aggressive because people are hot anyway. So you can send anywhere between 4 to 8 emails after they have exited your website. The next one in the line is the unused code flow. In this case, it's very similar to the welcome one, but you're more so emphasizing the code and you're making sure they need to use it. This email goes about 2 to 3 emails max, and that's about it. Here's an example of how it looks. So this brand, right, it looks like a normal broadcast emails. It's just something interesting. Hey, see, hey, I recently ordered your wallet. It's like a testimonial over here. Very normal, but what's important about this is this says, don't forget to use code proof20 for 20% discount on your order, right? It just emphasizes that point, and I would make it even bigger, an emphasis on the email. This is an unused code email, and you can send it 2 to 3 times to be able to capture those people who maybe forgot that they have a discount. The next one in the line is the very interesting one. It's a never bought email flow. Works really well. So what it does is it fires up when a person haven't bought within like 60 days of you sending emails, but is still opening your emails. You can do it even 30 days, right? And so the main objective and angle of this email flow is testimonials, is proof, is handling objections. And so here's how it looks, right? First email can look like this, just handling a simple objection. It says no pain, no gain, no more. Why it's better than the other kettlebells out there, right? And it goes over other stuff. Second email, it actually has it. It says he started with the Amazon special. And then it's a testimonial, basically. Hey, I started with Amazon special kettlebell, then competition adjustable kettlebells, basically just handling another objection via a testimonial, which is really, really nice way to do that. Another email after that comes over, yes, it costs more than the one on Amazon. Like the main objective, it seems like that customers have is that, oh, they can just buy one on Amazon. Why would I buy it from you? And so again, it just rams up that point. Hey, yes, this is expensive, but it's also has all of these benefits that Amazon's version doesn't have, right? And then obviously one more objection after that. It says 7 weights, 1 size, basically a feature benefit of the product, and they can use it basically right now. And then the final email just says start with 1 bell, basically just giving them at least something to buy, to try, say, hey, we don't want to buy all of this, we'll sell you all of these things, just try one of them, see how you like it, and then move on to the next one, right? Really great segue to end the email flow. So again, for this one, you should send anywhere between 4 to 6 emails for people who have never bought, and you don't send them anything else anymore. Now there are 3 more flows left, and before we move on to that, let me cover the discount ladder you should use on these email flows to be able to make sure you don't kill your margins when you run these flows. Almost every store nowadays just leads with the discount, and it trains people that, okay, if I add something to the cart and I exit, I will now get a discount. So anything going forward, I'll just do that every single time, and that's about it. Not only that, but it also captures people who would have bought anyways. They would just need to think about it, and that's about, they don't need a discount. They would have bought it anyways. And so there are 3 offers for e-commerce brands that exist right now. First of all, there's no offer, right? You can just simply go ahead, put your product out there, put the benefits, and remind them that they need to use the code if they have the code. And second offer is the soft offer. Here, you don't necessarily give the discount to them, but you have your guarantees. If you're a shoe brand, for example, the shoe size guarantee. If you have free shipping above a certain amount of orders, you can do that. Soft, very soft. And then the third one is actually the discount, right? The hard sell. You actually say, okay, you get this 20, 30, 40% discount. You have this giveaway. You can buy one, get my free, anything else like that. Works well. And so again, what most people do, they start with that offer. What you can do is you can start with no offer at all. You just say the testimonials, you just show the proof. And then the second email will be something like a soft offer, something, a reminder that, hey, we have a free shipping. We have a guarantee on your shoe size, guarantee on this. The third email will be a small hard offer. So it's going to be the discount, but like 10%, 5%, not entirely killing your margins. And then the email number 4, if they haven't bought it up until this moment, you can then say, okay, yeah, you get a 20% discount if you use it within 24 hours or 48 hours or something like that. It only works then. So now we move on to the second stage where people have already bought something and you want to try to sell them something new or try to win them back if they ghost you for a long time. The seventh flow is the cross-sell flow. It fires the second somebody buys. The second somebody buys, it flies it, and the first email talks about, okay, you've bought this thing, it's not shipping yet, we're not shipping it yet. You can also buy this thing with this special angle, maybe buy one, get one free, or some sort of a discount here, and you can add it to your cart, right? This way, maybe they've already thought of that product, and they're like, okay, maybe it's not shipping yet, so I might as well just do it right now and ship it together, right? A day later after that, if they haven't bought, you show them why both of these products pair, you explain in detail, and the third email reminds them once again. And so let me show you how it looks. And as you can see here, says your order is on its way. And then what goes with them? Socks goes well with your order. And also the second cross sell is a bag is also good because you carry them both, like really mini cross sell from then on as well. And that's about it. It also shows the other products, but like that's at the end of the email, and nobody really sees that anyway, right? Almost nobody. And so the next emails after this will simply be more on education and more on why they should pair this in with what they have already bought. Flow number 8 is very interesting. It's called second order flow. You might think that cross-sell and second order are similar, but no. Cross-sell fires immediately, second orders files after quite a time they've bought the product and they've already used it. You send it about after 2 to 6 weeks after they've got their first order. And here, you don't necessarily focus on pairing, you're more so focused on diversity of products. As you can see in these emails right here, they just they just show away some of their different types of products and not necessarily one single product. This way you remind them that, hey, you're a customer of ours and you should buy this thing because this thing is also cool. This also fits your specific persona. You should send anywhere between 3 to 5 emails for this one. And so the last email flow, and one of my personal favorite ones, is the Winback email flow. It fires when a person haven't bought in the last 90 to 120 or sometimes 60 days. So let me show you how it looks, right? The first email is simply a reminder. It's not like we sell you something. It just says, hey, reorder these tablets that you've already bought, right? You bought it, you liked it, just rebuy it. There's no discounts, there's nothing like that. And this the second emails, then you start introducing the discount because this is the last chance. Like you will not send them any more email. This is the last Winback flow, right? And so you offer them a discount over here, and then you say, hey, your code is this. And then the third email goes into the pain points, why they should do it, what they're struggling with, and why they should buy this again. There's also this kind of email that goes on. It just says, hey, how is the product that you already bought holding up, right? And then that will remind them, hey, yeah, I've used it. Maybe I've overused it. I want to buy a new one or something like that. So that will do it.
Hello friends, in this video I'm going to walk you through how I build AI-assisted welcome flows right now in 2026 and beyond for brands. I'm going to talk about everything from start to finish in a welcome flow you need to have, including the offer, when to send it, how to send it, and what is the cadence. Then I'm going to cover how to automate the processes with AI. I'm not going to go over everything that can be automated, but I'm free. With that being said, let me quickly play a real game with you, right? I'm going to ask you 3 questions. Just intuitively answer them as you go. So if you have the same store, same code, what do you think it sold more? 1 welcome email or 3 welcome email, right? It's going to be basic, I know, right? But some people need this clarification. And some people might choose one email welcome full. That's just the reality. They just give out the code and that's about it. Another question is, let's say there are 3 emails, right? Same 3 emails. Which start beat the other? Confirm your emails, or if you send the code right away, right? Now, this one is a tricky one. And I, as a agency, as a person who does service for other people, I would choose this. But for an e-commerce brand, you need to choose the code one, because your main game is volume, right? If you're an e-commerce brand for selling ticket items who are like above $500 or above $1,000, and your LTV is anywhere between like 5K to 15K, right? That's the case for my agency or for any other service business. And that's why we need more quality. For e-commerce brands, volume is absolutely the way to go, right? So you don't need to confirm the code, you just send them the code. And then the third question is that if you get the same first email, which top line made more? You think our story, then the code, right? So, hey, welcome, this is our story, or the code, then the story. And the correct answer is the code and then the story, because people come there for the code. And usually about 80% of people don't even scroll past the first image they see. They see the first image. If they don't get what's happening, confused, where's my code? 80% leave. Incredible. And so this is the number from Klaviyo directly and OmniSend combined, right? These are the 2 main email platforms. The best first welcome flow email makes 19 times more than the worst one from their statistics. I'm going to also show you this graph, right? This is directly from Klaviyo and from OmniSend. This is a company called BS & Co. They made this studies. And essentially, they analyze the middle ground, so the average store that makes money with welcome email. They analyze the worst store and they analyze the best stores that make the most amount of money with welcome emails. If we take a look at the average, is about here. The middle is here, right? It's 4.37% of the entire list. That's like how much people convert. Now take a look at what both sides show, right? This is the lower side. It's 0.95%. And this is the upper side. It's 18.4%. Insane numbers, insane difference. Look at how this is so far. It's an outlier, but it's not. It's actually the data. It's like set of companies. So much difference between this, which also means if you're watching this video as an e-commerce brand, you have so much room to grow. It's incredible. And that's why it's so important to watch this. With that being said, let's get into the actual meat and the sauce of this presentation. Now, here's a real stat from Klaviyo. And you can even, if you have it set up right now, you can even look at your own Klaviyo. You will confirm this 100%. What happens is that the buying window of all those welcome flows tend to sit at about 10 days. So after 10 days pass, this significantly drops. So what you need to do, instead of just placing it over the 30-day period and having like 3 emails within that 10 days and 4 emails outside of that, just fit those in. Fit those in. They're probably not going to buy. So might as well, right? You need to fit those in. If you would have 5, obviously, some brands have 8 and they need to fit those in. So once again, if you're an e-commerce brand, for your welcome email, do not ask them to confirm their email. Just simply send the code. It's fine. Your gain is volume and it's not really big quality. You can manage the quality before they even type their email. That's fine. But after, completely fine. Just don't make double opt-ins. Now, one of the most important parts of the welcome flow is the offer and how many emails you should send. And so these numbers depend on what you sell, and that's why we're going to cover it right now. So one of the biggest questions people ask is that, hey, do I use like % off or $1 off for my welcome email? Now there are 2 things that mainly impact your welcome flow, is your offer and the amount of emails you send to your customers. Now, people really ask this a lot, and they ask, well, do I do a % off or $1 off? And the answer is it depends on your product. And it also depends like how many emails you should send. I'm going to go over it right now. So think about it this way, right? If you only take numbers, make sure you choose the biggest number. So if your item, let's say it's $10, 20% off, 20 is more than 2 because $2 off and 20% off for the $10 item is the same thing, but 20 is more of a number, like the number is bigger. And so up until, let's say you agree to do a 20% off, right? Up until the number is 100, you need to put 20% off. From then on, you need to put dollar off, simply because the number is higher, right? If for $100 product, 20% off and $20 off is the same number, 2020. But if it goes beyond that, let's say $500, now 20% off, and there's like $100 off. The 100 is 5 times of a bigger number than percentage. I know it doesn't make sense, right? If you're a math guy, it doesn't make sense. It's like how these people don't understand this. So you need to use this. In terms of the amount of emails, I would not be shy to send a lot of emails, but if you were limiting your capacity, if your team cannot produce more, I don't know why, you should also adjust your emails according to the product price. So if you have a cheap price, you can send 3 emails and that's about it. Like that's the main thing that will do within that 10-day mark. But if you have a more expensive product, 8 emails is completely fine to send because people will appreciate it. Like don't even worry about people being annoyed. They're making that decision. You're helping them making a decision. It's fine. It's completely fine. You might even offer them a discount. They'll be happy, right? Don't even worry about it. Don't stress it out. So let's start with the welcome flow itself. Now, let's just gradually go over the welcome flow that I will show you here. This is for a client of ours. As you can see, their offer is a headband, so a free headband, and it's a cooling headband. And now we start off by the offer. We say the headband is on us. We give them the big code, and we give them the button in the bottom. The start of your welcome flow is one of the most important things you can ever do. Like to really think this through. Then we go over on how to claim the thing. So 3 steps you need to take to be able to claim this. Add the desert cooling headband to your cart, fill the cart to $35, enter the code at checkout and the headband at $10 off, $10 off, right?
It's not.
So as we see, this is a welcome flow that we've built and let's cover it right now. So welcome to Desert Towel. We put that on top, sub headline, their code, shop now. Big button right at the top. That's the proper way to do it. And then we show their offer is basically a towel, right? Free towel. We show the towel. We go over where it comes from. So Brandon, that's the founder. Hey, Desert Towel is his. Everything shipped from Phoenix. Like about the product itself, about the company. And then we're gonna quote their own customers. So Desert Towel is a game changer, especially for Arizona summers. There's someone who is leaving a review here. And then we show our best sellers right beneath. So what we made. Wear this in the sun. I mean, this is an optional one. If you have something like that, that would be cool. And then the quickest way to get to $35 to be able to access that headband is to get a 1 towel and 1 bottle. Like we give them a free, like easy option, a free option. And then 1 more big button, shop now. Incredible. Just makes it easy on them to buy. That's exactly how a welcome flow should be structured. It's a template, right? And by the way, if you want to access to the template once again, second link in the description, you're going to get it. Now, before I show you the second email, let me cover some of the best practices across the page, right? So I'm going to give you 4 examples of products and what each of them should signal, right? So if it's a food product, let's say a food made a new way, some sort of special food, maybe a drink. And then instead of what most brands do is I see that they just do our quality promise, our quality satisfaction, 100%, whatever. Right? People see that and they don't understand it. I mean, it's there, definitely it's a word, but people don't understand. What people understand and what people question is, will this taste like coffee? Or is this a coffee thing? Or is it different? They have a specific question. And so you need to answer that like directly. So instead of saying quality promise, just vaguely say, hey, this is not like a coffee, but it will have an aftertaste of a coffee or something like that, right? Explain this away the thing that they're worried about. Same with like clothing brands. I see a lot. The perfect fit guarantee. I mean, you have the guarantee. It's awesome. You're not telling people that you have the guarantee. People don't realize what is a perfect fit guarantee. They still ask themselves, what if it doesn't fit me? Although they see the word guarantee, what you need to put is, if it doesn't fit you, we're gonna return your money back. You can this free return. There's a guarantee. How you guarantee stuff if you don't really communicate it well? Something for your kid, for example, right? Well, parents will usually buy this stuff, but like if a kid sees that, he doesn't even know what engineered means. So will they actually use it is the question the parents are asking. So that's what you need to tackle in the emails. And then another thing, let's say there's a thing you have to learn, right? And then it says advanced by design. I even don't know what it means. So you need to address the direct question. they have, like the main thing that they're worried about, not the vague. Nothing in your copywriting ever should be just soulless and purposefulness. Like everything should be right. So that's the top line that you have. That's the main line that you have in your welcome flow, and you usually put it on top or in the first couple of emails. Now let's cover the actual structure of each emails that you should be sending. So the first email, the offer email, should include something like this, right? The first block is you basically saying, hey, here's the 20% off, here's the welcome, and shop the range. So if I show you an example of the one that we've recently built right over here, it says, hey, welcome to Desert Towel, subheadline, give them the code, and then give them to shop. And in this case, the offer is a free headband, and so they get this little image with a headband right here, right? So then we go into 2 lines on who you are, so what you make and why it matters. It's like not the whole entire story, but just that will be in the next email. But as we can see over here, we go into who is the founder, right? Desert Towel is his, what it does, and we also include a couple of customer testimonials right in the bottom of that. And then the block 3 is the way back. So here's how to start here. So basically your bestseller products, that's what I call it, right? You go over there and you mention your bestseller products. Now, in this case, I also mentioned some of the things that is applicable. So, for example, to claim the headband, they need to buy 2 things that are worth $35. And I offer them this. Hey, if you buy these 2, they go hand in hand. You're going to get the headband for free, which is pretty nice. After that, there's the second email. And here the structure looks like this. First, the top line, you need to just take one worry and just eliminate rest of. So how does it actually work? And then basically their question in their words, not your feature name, or it's quality that depends. Like the ones I show you over here, right? It's not that the quality. Now the second email goes over the main question that they have. And let me actually cover this, right? A lot of brands, what they do is they have this headline that doesn't mean anything, right? Made with real rabbit cow. Nobody understands it. Nobody knows. It's a fancy word, I get it, but like nobody gets it. Whereas the actual question is, will this taste like a coffee? Is this a coffee? Like this is the main question. If it's a towel, right, like we show you, advanced cooling technology. Instead, they will be like, mine stopped working when it went warm. Is this the one that will stop working when it went warm? Let's say it's a suit cut to your measurements. The perfect fit guarantee. Now, this is really tricky because guarantee, like we as business owners, we understand this. People don't really know what a guarantee is, really. A guarantee is if it doesn't fit, money back, return, anything else. Basically, you're not losing, right? But people still ask question, hey, what if it doesn't fit me? So instead of saying we have the perfect fit guarantee, just say, if it doesn't fit you, we'll get your money back and we will just return the product. That's it. That's the main thing. For one more example, a screen-free play for kids, like let's say it's a screen-free play for kids, and it says engineered for independent play, right? Their main question they're asking is, will they actually use it, right? And so obviously you didn't answer that question. And so that's the main second email. And as you can see, I stress this out because second email is also very important. You still answer the question and still give them the welcome email that you give, the code right below. But as you can see over here in the second email, water in, cool out. So their main question is how it works, basically. How does it even work? So you just put water in, that's about it. You all got it. And then we also instruct them, right? Soak, wring, snap, boom. That's it. And their towel is their main product, and that's why we're focusing on that. So the block 2 will be a short answer to what their worry is. As we showed, we made a demonstration, and then we put on some features, right? Hey, here's the size and whatnot and what it does. The third email, you need to explain away the worry, right? In here, you showed it how it works. Like they don't understand, but in here, you need to explain away the worry. And once again, one of the example questions come here is that what if it doesn't fit me, right? And so what happens is that you need to put that on top, right? Over here, let me show you. You need to put that worry on top. Now, the email 3 should explain away the worry. Usually, I do it in email 4, but since we're doing 6 emails here, I'm going to make the third email the worry, right? So you need to put it, what if it doesn't fit me? Then put the welcome flow once again, the email. Then block 2 will be the answer to that question. Block 3 will be something that some other products, like just their best sellers, or maybe a comparison between your products, just something for them to see. Now, email 4 will be proof-based. So the block line first, ask someone who owned one, right? Or shop this product right here. That's completely fine. Once again, you put the welcome discount over here, and then you put 3 testimonials. 3 is a great number. You just put it 3, right? As you can see, we put 3 testimonials right here from real people actually reviewing the product. And then after that, the exact ones they bought, and then for them to actually buy it, right? So shop the original, as you can see, it's a button. They can click on it and buy. Last call. It's very important because in here, you need to give your best offer. Now, if you want to do the same offer, you can do that. But in here, you need to put special attention to the last call and actually follow the last call. And so your email will be something like, hey, we did the math for you. Add the headband to an order. It will be like, hey, last call. Then it goes back to $10. Now it's free, right? You have it. And so then you go over really like nothing besides the last call. You just go over that and you emphasize it. And because it's extremely important. Hey, the last call, there's nothing for them to distract, nothing for them to read because they need to act here, right? And one more time, remind them, free headband over $35. Shipping is free over $49. Everything shipped from Phoenix, right? And then there's other buttons, but like that's footer. So last call, but what most brands miss is that, hey, you have the last call, but nobody has the last call, which is allowed because it's a founder-led email. It says, hey, my name is Brandon. I'm the founder of Desert Tower. You signed up a few days ago, so I want to send you an email personally. There's all certain things. Basically, very personalized, plain text email. Doesn't even have this gray background. It's a white, plain text email. And then once they read through it, right, even if they don't, they see this blue thing. Like in the email, in Gmail, if you go to Gmail, you see plain text. And then if there's a link, you see it clearly. It gets blue. That's what's powerful about this email is because it's a last call. They give you a founder directly, gives you the last chance. And you see one thing to click on. You're not 10 different things, one thing. And so this really converts really well. But you need to make sure you put it before day 10, right? After day 10, it's not going to work as well. This being said, let's cover how to use AI in your process to be able to build this. Now, I have a lot of skills. I have a lot of knowledge bases. I have a lot of examples, libraries that help me do this. But for you, you need to start one thing at a time. So if you have something like Claude or Codex, whatever you use, in this case, what you need to do, you need to go over here into connectors, right? Into connectors, you need to connect your Klaviyo account. You need to browse connectors and type in Klaviyo right here, right? Klaviyo, yes. And then connect your Klaviyo account. This will make sure it's easy for you to upload, to look at the information, to look at your stats. Very, very easy. Second, you need to go to Google Drive and connect to Google Drive. The reason you do that is because you need to have a library of other work. If you want to take inspiration, you can go to this beautiful website called milled.com, milled.com. In that website, you will be able to access a couple of examples from other products, other people who are actually just running e-commerce brands, their emails. What you can do if you can take those that you like. So as you can see, this is the milled.com website. Wherever you like, download it, make a quick library, and then connect that Google Drive into your AI. What it will do, AI now has access to these multiple emails that you really like. Obviously, for our case, it's just winning emails. I don't take random emails as examples for AI. I only take the ones that are winning and absolutely crushing it. And I actually don't use milled.com. I use this burner Gmail account that I have. And it basically just sends, signed up for thousands of brands that I really like, or maybe I hate. I just want to absolutely roast them, right? And I take inspiration from here as well as from our own work that we do. But you can do whatever you want. You can set this up. And once that's up, you can use my skills in that second link in the description to be able to say just basically, hey, build me a welcome email for my brand. Here are my brand pictures. And if you don't have your brand pictures, it'll automatically suggest you use an AI model, an AI image model called Nana Banana. It's going to walk you through how to use the API. And basically, done for you, start from finish, right? So you need to set this up. If you want to use AI in your processes, make sure you use it. Make sure you put a human in every step of the way. So after writing the copywriting of the email, after making the designs, after putting in the pictures, every single time, human reads it, human analyzes it, thinks if it goes good or not, and then approves it or not, right? And then the last step will be uploading it to your Klaviyo and test. Over the past few years, e-commerce stores that lie on top 1 to 5% of the ones that are crushing it realized that the hottest customers they have are the ones who have been browsing recently. And in this video, you're just gonna learn about the 3 abandoned email flows you can use for your own store to be able to drive more revenue from your existing email list. I'm gonna cover what they are, how many emails to send, when to send them, and why people are stored to lie in that 5% of stores that are absolutely crushing it. You need the browse abandonment flow set up. In this flow, people just viewed your product, they haven't added anything to your cart, and exited. That's where you fire it. And there are 5 biggest reasons people abandon that place. Number 1 is that they're still comparing products, either with yourself or with your competitors. Number 2 is that the price surprised them. They were just shocked by the price and they can't decide and they can't find proof enough to be able to buy it. Number 3 is the page didn't answer the specific objection you handle. And I'm gonna show you how to handle objections without even knowing what kind of objections they have. Number 4 is that they don't trust you yet. They simply don't trust you. They might not know your brand enough yet to buy from you. And number 5 is the page did not make them want it. So you don't have enough videos, you don't have enough images inside the page, and that's completely fine because we have their email, so we can blast them with all of those things next. So as I mentioned, the browse abandonment is mainly a page problem, but email makes up for it, which I'm going to show you right now. So email 1 goes at 1 hour. So within 1 hour after they've exited the website, and here you handle the biggest objection they have, right? So you just simply put one objection. You don't open with just a soft reminder or anything like that. You simply go ahead and reframe what they're already buying. So not necessarily to talk about more about the product itself, but about the mechanics, about the pricing, about why they pay for it. In that email, you also compare it to other alternatives they can buy. You make a comparison table and you list your own benefits. And finally, you finish up the email by listing some of the other variation of the same product. It's not an alternative. It simply could be a different color, different size of the same item, and so on. And so if you take a look at the example over here, right? This is for tissues and it says $40 for tissues. I mean, people have these objections because they will see a person and obviously that's ridiculous, right? But they're missing something. It's because you're not buying the tissues. You're buying the thing that holds them. So essentially, they buy this thing and the tissues for $40, but the actual restack of the paper towels will be $15 only. That's the main objection that people are missing because they immediately see the price and they're not educated enough, which we're tackling here. Again, we're not saying more about the product. We're not saying how great tissues are. We're just explaining the mechanics, why they pay for it in the first place. Then we show that comparison that I told you about, right? Simply why this is better than other tissues that are out there. And we clearly lose for some of them. We say, hey, per use, you'll pay more for this, but you also get all of these things right here. And then obviously, we end up by just giving them other options. So you can say, hey, pick the one you would leave out. So espresso, smoked sole, love bite, plant daddy, like these different colors for the same thing. Again, not an alternative, just a different variation. And obviously, we end up via a CTA saying, see the kit. After this specific email, you can send up to 2 more emails. I'm going to explain how to do that. One of the emails is an optional one, and the optional one is the educational one. You might send an email educating them, or maybe a founder-led message, simply saying why they built this specific product for this specific audience, right? Very simple. The last email always, whether you do 2 email sequence or 3 email sequence, should be a slight small offer. So a discount, a guarantee, anything like that, right? And so the psychology here is more so just make them curious and not really pressure them because they haven't bought anything yet. And, you can't really fake the urgency really early in the sale.
they have more journey to go through. And so here's the example email for the second email or the last email, right? 15% off the blow kit. Code this ends expiry, right? It's very important to put an end date into that one. But again, make them curious more so. Don't really ram it up through the entire email. And here you say, the only one you keep coming back to is the one that sits in the nightstand at 3 in the morning, which is exactly where a cardboard box is at its worst, right? Really, really solid copyrights in here. And the button says 15% off. Then you go into this section when it says a box you do not have to hide. So again, one more objection that is being handled over here. And again, comparison box right here once more time. Then you remind them of the first email. Maybe they didn't even see the first email. So you remind of that objection that previously was handled. And then again, you finish up by having a nice CTA to be able to actually click on it and be redirected directly to bug. Subject lines. Yes, subject line in these specific emails should be very simple. It should include your product name dynamically and simply question about product name, something like that. It shouldn't be something like you left this behind because they haven't really chosen that and added that to the cart. We'll save that one for the next one. Next one on the line is cart abandonment flows. Here, they've added the item to the cart. They haven't checked out. They haven't just browsed. They've added it and they've exited the website. That's where you fire it. Here are the 5 biggest reasons this happens. Number 1, they got distracted. Like this is the main place where they get distracted by other things and they exit. Number 2, they're using the cart as a wish list, right? So they just, maybe I'll get it someday. Number 3, they added it to see the shipping cost, right? So sometimes they do it just to see what other miscellaneous costs you have. Number 4, the money is not there this week, right? So they might add it and as a reminder for themselves to come back and buy. And that's exactly where I'm going to cover what kind of discounts you should use and what emails. They have second thoughts about which one to buy. So it's not necessarily comparing you to competitors. It's mostly comparing you to you, just between the products. And sometimes they end up buying nothing if they think too much. So for this one, you can go more aggressive. Sometimes you can send 8, so 3 to 8, depending on how hard your product is to buy, right? If it's something higher ticket, you should shoot for 8 because people need more time to think about it. First one fires within 2 hours. Second one fires within a day. Then the third fires within 1 to 2 days, 1 to 2 days after, right? So every other day, you need to fire them out. The first email here should be a reminder. Hey, you've left something on your cart. Get and grab it, and then you might include some testimonials below that. Let me show you. As you can see, we start by saying, we saved your basket, complete my order. And there's nothing below. This is simply that simple because they have because the first reason why they're abandoned is because they got distracted. But then you still show the product and then you show one more time, okay, how much it costs, what it counts, how it names, and so on. Then again, you show the reviews, you show the testimonials, you show how it's built, and that's about it. That's as short as it gets. The second email here works extremely well is a founder-led note, right? So you simply go ahead, write this, and you say, hey, something like, I saw you put something in your basket on our site and did not finish. That is completely fine. I'm writing this because it's usually one of the 2 things and both have a short answer. So basically handling objections, but using the founder language. And as you can see, this email is so plain and it only has 1 link. Guess what they will see first? They'll see this, that maybe you read through half of this and they'll be like, yeah, I know what to do. Just click on this link. That's about it. There's not like gazillions of buttons to click on. Very nice, really converts well. As you can see in this emails, I have all 8, but I'm going to show you just the last one just to make sure you understand the logic. So in the third email, we simply go about the features of the product. Then we cover another feature of the product. And so you finish up this email sequence by sending these 2 types of emails saying different things. Number 1, now you offer them a discount and you say it's only for first order. If you're ordering first time, simply claim your discount, right? You give their discount code and they'll be able to click on it. And the last email you send them simply says it ends today, right? It just reminds that the code is expiring today. You need to buy ASAP. Now, for the next one, if you're an e-commerce store and you don't have this email flow, you're literally hating money.
It's called the checkout abandonment. That's where they're hottest, right? They have literally chose a product, went to your website, went to checkout, entered their card, entered the shipping address, and left. And so here are the 5 reasons they usually leave at this point. First of all, there's a surprise shipping cost at the last step. That's literally the first reason they leave. The shipping is too expensive. Number 2, you force them to create an account. It's friction and annoyed. They want to exit. Number 3, they got scared at the card screen, right? They have just been clicking mindlessly, and as soon as they saw the card, they were like, oh, no, this is not the place. Number 4 is delivery is too slow. It also happens. This is literally the first reason they cancel, because they see that it arrives within a week, and they're like, I need it tomorrow. Number 5, the checkout itself got in the way. So there's too many steps, there's errors, there's robot checks, a lot of friction, and there's simply exiting that place. They don't want to do that. And so for flows, you send them 4 emails. Number 1, you send them within 45 minutes as they exit. You simply phrase it as a reminder. So your thing is saved. Here it is. Nothing was shipped yet, so you can still ship it. Like, that's how you phrase it. I'm going to show you how it looks. As you can see in this email, it says your wall is waiting. It's still waiting, return to checkout. And then it also goes about, okay, what is in the checkout? And sometimes you can purchase it from there. Some softwares offer it, but essentially you more so click on a button and then you redirect it to the checkout. It also goes about what will happen. So what will happen after they sign up? 3 things that makes you first try the only try. It also a little bit goes over the mechanics of your offer. If you have an offer, for example, this business had an offer, so they just simply went over it. And then you remind them one more time with a CTA button. Number 2 email goes for plain text, founder-led email, and it names the real objections. It's very similar to the last one we saw with the abandoned cart email, right? So in this case, we phrase it like this. Hey, I saw this, and there are 2 reasons people don't buy it. It's the size or the color. And again, one more time, there are a couple of links to be able to click, and the founder name clearly there. Email number 3 should be the offer. So you simply mention the offer, nothing too crazy, very similar to the abandoned card, and you'll be able to buy. You also mention some testimonials so they can reassure themselves. And number 4 is a reminder about the offer as a last call, still on the wall in your head. Your saved design and the offer are both good until the deadline, and give them the deadline, give them the offer, give them the code, and they'll be able to buy. And so a couple of things you need to make sure you note. Number 1, their body already listened to them, right? They were checking, they were clicking, they went to checkout. So it doesn't really make sense to push here. You just need to remove the barrier, if that makes sense. They don't really push. Their fear of this card, of this checkout is real. You don't really need to use the sales language, but you more for use kind of safety language, right? Be more safe with the language and not be like bold and pushy and salesy in your emails. And you saw the emails that I showed you. If you're an e-commerce brand, it is 292% harder to sell to someone who've never bought from you compared to people who've just bought from you recently. And so in this video, you're going to learn about the proper post-purchase flow you need to set up for your store to generate anywhere between $10,000 to $100,000 extra in email marketing, how to minimize returns and maximize people who will keep coming back to you to buy from you. So whether you're a subscription brand or not, this applies to you. So someone just bought, what do you send them? And so there's a study that shows when people buy their second order after they bought first one. And as you can see in this graph, right, in here it says 0 hours. So as soon as they bought something, the highest chance of them buying something again is right at that moment. After that, it's going to be 1 hour, it's going to be 3 hours, it's going to be 6 hours after that, 12 hours, 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 7 days, as it goes, right? So as the longer it goes, the less likely they're going to buy from you. Now, in this case, it doesn't really apply to subscription brands as per se, because, you subscribe to something, you keep buying it all over again, you need this, but any other brand,
this exact study follows the rules. And so guess when all of the brands start sending their first email after their first purchase, right? Right here. So they miss out basically on all of this because they send it after 6 hours or so. And it's just a received order. And that's their first email. They're missing out on everything. And even if it's a subscription, it still matters to send it immediately because it will make it more valuable to them. Here's another study that shows what happens to people when they buy their first purchase from a similar store, right? And so in here, they go over these 3 emotions that we feel whenever we buy something. Number 1 is we want more, and that's exactly why most people just immediately buy the second thing, especially because it hasn't been shipped yet. It's really good, especially if you put it on your subject headline and say, hey, it's not shipped yet. They'll think, wait, what happened? And they'll click on the email, and inside they'll be like, well, it's shipping, but like it's not shipped yet, so you can buy it. But regardless, first we want more. Second, we're excited. And third, we're doubting. Now, as you can see, these 2, you don't really need to stress out about these. Obviously, if you send emails, these 2 are going to get better. But you need to stress out about this because people are doubting. They might just convince themselves to return the thing. That's what you don't want to do. And so, especially when it comes to things, higher price items, right? The lower the price, maybe they won't really second out it as much, right? And the higher the price goes, the higher likelihood of them second guessing it. And that's why you need to strategically look at your highest value orders, highest value products, and send more emails for those customers who bought them compared to those customers who bought something less. And so with this said, now we know we need to focus on eliminating that doubt, and the structure of emails I'm going to tell you both is going to convince them to want more and take them from this state, from excited to this state, as well as take them from doubting state to excited or wanting more state. That's our main goal. So this is what all of these emails have in their psychology, and you're going to understand why. Also, don't make it a receipt. Don't think that the receipt is an email. An email is a thank you, it's why they bought it, how to use it, and then review asking, all of that good stuff. So the first email you send them is a thank you email from a founder, right? Simple, plain text email. No fancy design, nothing like that. Just a simple thank you. You're showing yourself. And so let's together build this email from scratch with me. First, you start by saying, hey name, basically, right? Hey Sam, your order came through, so thanks for that. I know you had other places you could have bought the phone. Then you simply introduce yourself as a founder. You say who you are. So we've been doing this since 1999, and about 2 million people have bought from us since then, which still surprises me a bit. It's a quick flex over here without being annoying. Then you explain what happens next. There's a single line. As you can see, it's very structured. We are packing it today, and you will get a note from us the moment it goes out the door. It feels like they're literally making this for you. It's like a Christmas gift. They're making this for you. They're packing it. Super nice. And after that, there's another line that simply says, if anything comes up, just hit reply, and it comes straight to me. I read them all. Like this just rips. When you implement this, it will rip compared to if you don't do this, right? And obviously, always put a PS on your emails, on your plain text email. People read PS all the time, and that's the most engaging part. So if you want to say something like reply here, reply there, just put that into a PS. You will get a ton of replies. Hey, PS, it has not gone yet, so if you meant to add something to the order, just reply and we'll try to squeeze it into the same box. Like it hasn't been shipped yet, so we can squeeze it into the same box. You don't need to pay extra for shipping, so just buy one more thing. Like you see the point, right? Very, very soft ask and very nicely done. Also, another point is that make sure on the first order you send a little bit of a different email than on the second order. At least the first couple of sentences, right? So for the first order, you might say something like we've already covered. Second order will be like, subject line will be thanks for coming back.
hey, this is your second order with us, and honestly, people coming back is the bit we care about the most. They care about you. You're building that relationship as you go. If they buy a third time, you'll be like, third time is a charm. Sam, 3 orders now, which we definitely noticed. Thanks for keeping us on your list. It's super, super personalized. They've noticed that I've just bought 3 orders. They get thousands of orders, and they've noticed me. Like, I'm real for them. That's what your customers think. And if it's fourth and plus more orders, simply a subject line says, you're a regular now. You label them with this, and people usually hold on to and upkeep whatever other people label them with, right? If it's a good thing, obviously. And so, Sam, at this point, you're one of our regulars, and we're really glad you keep coming back. So, little tweak in the message makes you more repeat customers. That just happens. Email 2. And email 2 is a cross-sell email. You're going to present your other products as well as what they've already bought. As you can see, they bought a racket here, right? And you present this Wilson Premier Paddle Balls. And guess what you do here, right? You will build paddle grip and then a bag. This is extremely important, this very line, which is the reason, right? So if you just put those out, nobody understands why you did it. It's just like another promotion email, basically. But if you put the reasons and say, hey, balls, they go flat. Like your racket stays forever, basically, but balls go flat. So you need more balls. Or you need grip. But grip also is the part of the racket that wears out, right? You need to buy that. Or a bag. Like you can handle your racket with that bag at all times. If you have a girlfriend, if you have a wife, like you can do it together. It's awesome, right? Super nice. That's why you need the reasons for them to buy. It's extremely important that little first line makes you a ton more sales. Now after this, you send the email 3, right? It's about 3 to 4 days after. It's that exact moment where they're just waiting for this thing and they're distracted by other things, right? They're on to their day-to-day life. You don't need the silence. Like it might make them think a lot about the things and the I shouldn't have bought it, etc. So you need to reduce the return email, right? So the third email is going to be an educational one, especially because if you don't teach it, they'll literally blame you for it, right? So here's another example of a educational email, right? You say, hey, your order has left our warehouse, and essentially it's going, track my order over here. Now you educate. You say, hey, what you do, you pick, you check, you dispatch, hand it to courier, and it basically updates them. Hey, it has been picked, it has been checked, it's dispatched, it's on the courier, it's on the way. And so here's what they bought, and you're going to explain. It's built for players who are still developing. When it arrives, take the plastic off the grip and give it a swing indoors before you play. In a few days, we will send you the short guide on looking after it. Look at how powerful it is. They're waiting for that guide. Because those little guides that come with products, I'm not sure if it comes with rackets, but with any other products, do you think they're gonna read through all of it? Then it's a lot of stuff about manufacturing, what was produced and mixed up with the instructions. Like rarely people read that unless they have no choice. And so just make it more gamified for them. Send them another email with a guide, special guide for them. Make it interactive. It's going to really pay off. And it literally costs you nothing nowadays with AI. And another small ask, still need balls? The paddle range is here whenever you want it. Shop paddle. Super easy. And so coming back to this, if you don't teach it, they'll literally blame you, right? If you send nothing, they'll be like, oh, okay, yeah, what do I do? Maybe made it a bit bad. Maybe the paddle broke or something. Or maybe they ran out of balls. Like they literally ran out of balls. They don't have anything to play and they blame the experience, which also blames the paddle, right? And so if you send the guide after it, email 4, that's what they're gonna appreciate you, right? They're gonna say, especially if it's something for a racket. I mean, people buy rackets and they don't know how to use it, but if you send them a guide, it's gonna make them interested in it, right? So here's a guide, basically number 2, number 3, number 4 goes through all of this. This is basically a guide, and I'm gonna go over it. And again, small ask in the end. Pairs with over grips from $6, paddle balls from $16, right? Very small ask, not salesy at all. They'll literally buy from it. Now, after this, there's the email 5. And here you would just promote another channel that you have. Just choose one. Choose one. The more you choose, the worse it gets. So maximum 2, but 1 is the best. So just remove all these, and let's say Instagram, right? You pick Instagram, you stick with it, and you promote it on email 5. As we can see, come and find us. Follow us on Instagram, because you need that second channel with them and second connection with them. It's simply needed for you to succeed in your other purchases going into the future. Now, in general, there's a rule that's called give before you ask. That's absolutely true for email designs. You need to give before you ask. And not only the reviews, in general, just the way you saw the structure here, you give the guide and then you remind them to buy something else. You give the thank you message from founder and then you ask a PS, a small PS to ask. And then same works with reviews, right? So you need to give something, and you've gave all of these like guide stuff, and then the number 5 email, which is going to be review asking. And so you need to strategically place it in order to be able to be relevant. And so if you have a digital product, you might send it after 1 to 2 days. If you have something clothing brand, 5 to 7 days is enough. Gadgets, 7 to 10 days. Home stuff, anything home related, that's like 10 to 14 days. Skincare will be 14 to 21. Vitamins, 21 to 30, let's say, right? Could be even longer, but it's strategically placed because they're actually feeling the product. They know how it works, and that's why they can give you the honest review, right? And so another thing that's important is you never pay them for a review. Never give discounts for reviews. Never do incentives for reviews. Your reviews are going to be robotic and boring, and also is going to lower your margin, basically, because you're going to capture people who would have bought anyways one more time. Just ask honestly. If you offer 10% off, it's basically going to train them on something, and they're not going to review unless you pay them something, right? Just make sure you don't pay them anything. And email number 6 goes into a reminder. So either you can have a sale email here, or you can have a reminder here, right? You can say something like, hey, since you bought from us, you have 20% off, especially since, as I showed you the first graph, the more it goes, the more time goes by, the less likely they buy. So it's fine to offer a discount over at this place. Or you can make a check-in email, which says, hey, how's it going? Is there anything wrong? Any feedback on that? That also well, but I'd recommend to stick with the sale email where you simply can pitch them, because you've given them so much value. They probably reviewed you or not, but regardless, you're going to send that. And so here's the review email, right? It's a plain text email once again. You simply go over, it has been about a week since you recommended, long enough time for a few gains, which is about when a new record stops feeling new. If it's playing well, good. If something is not right, the group size, the weight, the balance, reply and tell us. We would rather sort it than have you leave in a cupboard. They're going to appreciate this, and you're going to appreciate this. It's not going to increase returns. Like, they'll buy it again, and they will stay as a forever customer, which is a benefit to you. And then obviously after that, there's an optional email, as I said, either a check-in or a sale email. Just broadcast emails will be fine to them to buy. With that said, I have all the resources that have cross-sell flow. So in the moment they buy something from you, they end up buying 2, 3, 4, 5 items more with them. This does 2 things. Number 1, it gives you more money. Number 2, it makes people fall in love with your brand more, because 2 products stacked together usually make each other better. So going forward, I'm going to show you the bad examples, the good examples, the best practices, and so people can actually open them in the first place. Let me start by saying, what is the cross-sell flow? Cross-sell flow is designed for people who've just bought from you and you want to pair it with something that will make that product even better. It is not an upsell. It's not a bigger version of the same thing. It's not anything else. It's simply some product that matches with what they already bought. Most stores design one single email for that specific thing. The best practice is to design 3 emails and send 3 emails after they bought. And I'm going to show you the timelines. First one fires immediately as soon as they buy. Second one fires within 24 hours. And the third one fires in day 6 after they bought. You can also pair this flow with another flow called fulfilled order. Fires after the cross-sell flow, when you need to just educate them why the pairing happened, why these products match, and why they need to actually do them. So more on education. That also fires about 3 emails. The expected results you can see from it is about 10 to 15% of people who bought, which is massive because it's absolutely free. Let's take a look at some of the bad examples that happen within cross-sell flows. I see emails like this where they'll be like, you might also like, and just put the product photo with the name and the price, right? And it just goes like this, and it says, shop all products. Very generic and doesn't really show why the pairing happened. Another horrendous example is this example with the 15% off, right? Why would you give me 15% off right on the first email? And first of all, I don't even know what is it for. And again, once again, just best sellers, just shop around, nothing specific whatsoever. Now, here are some of the good examples for cross-sell flows. Your subject line is very important for these ones. It says what goes in them, and it basically repeats on the headline. It says what goes in them. Hey, you bought the item name. This is the part people forget. Shop socks, and immediately gives them the button to click. And then obviously it shows the product that goes in pair with what they have already bought. It shows them if they buy it right now, they get some sort of an incentive. So in this case, it's a free shipping, right? It will be fulfilled. And by the way, the most important and powerful thing you can do in here is you can input either in your subject line, either in your first line of the email, is to say your order is not shipped yet. So it's in the process of shipping, but it's not shipped yet. So the person will be like, well, if it's not shipped yet, might as well buy these and get the free shipping or get the incentive for myself. And so after this, yes, obviously I said you show the numbers and then you sell another thing. Like you don't care. You sell multiple things in a cross-sell email. You sell a bag. It says it has a bag for the shoes and you educate it and show your price. They will be able to buy it because maybe they don't resonate with the sock too much, but they will resonate with the bag, right? And we don't finish here. This email ends here, but I would add even more. I would just add other products for them, and just because they have been reminded of the fact that it's, hey, free shipping above certain amount. If you buy more, you will get that, and they'll just shop around. Maybe they already had something in mind as well, so they can buy it. Here's another email. It is a plain text email, so it has no images, but it's more educational and more personalized to the person. So it says 3 steps in order. First is basically showing them how to use their current product and as well as kind of selling the other product. Although it does says there's nothing to buy in this email. They have the links, right? And so it says pack it. What you have to do, you have to pack whatever you have. Then what goes in them? What else goes? They mention packet, right? So they don't say a bag, buy a bag as well as what you had, which is shoes in this case. But they say pack your shoes in a bag when you go to the gym. So buy a bag for us, $120. Another thing, on the day, what goes in them? You just say performance socks are built for training, same as the shoes. 3 cuts, basically just selling them the socks. And then another one is not selling them, it's just making sure they understand that, hey, we're not just like ramming with every single product that we have. Really cool to see these examples. Let's move on to the psychology behind the clicks and how to make sure people actually click on it instead of just skipping it. Well, first of all, the hard decision is already made on them. They basically trusted you with their cart. That's the hardest decision they can ever make. Now you just need to phrase it right and not feel spammy, and they'll just buy anything from you. So first, frame it as a completion, not as an addition to what they bought. Basically, say that this is the part of the pack. You bought it, but it's not something like, oh, buy shoes as well, buy bag as well. It's part of bag. It's like shoes goes with the bag, but you only decided to buy the shoes. That's how you frame it. Second, putting a discount will insult your product simply because people who sometimes buy anyways then find out that, oh, they gave me a discount. And what it does is they buy it, obviously, but then you would have gotten them anyway. Now you just lost margin for unknown reason. The next one, please do not sell them something they've already bought once again, unless it's a something that is subscription based or something that is long term, so it might finish and they might restock the order. That's the second order flow. It's a different type of flow. For cross sell, please make sure you actually track things right and don't sell them, because the fastest way to just lose somebody's trust is to let them know that nobody's paying attention. Now, although I'm a big proponent of just being more salesy on the second order emails, please make sure you're actually teaching them something about the product instead of just being pitchforking. Hello friends, in this video I'm going to talk about how you can build win-back email flows for your e-commerce brand to be able to capture those people who stopped buying and turn them irrelevant. So, what is a win-back flow? Basically, you already paid for these buyers, right? You already paid for them. Most stores let these buyers just walk away. A win-back flow is 3 emails that go out on their own when a past buyer stops buying. And here's how to build one step by step. So only one of these 3 people will get a win-back, right? So imagine there are 3 people. One of them bought once, they went quiet. The other one, they joined but never bought. And the other one, they do not open your email whatsoever, right? Now, this is the one that gets the win back. Most people really confuse this and they think like they need to win back those people who've entered their emails, but that's not the case. There's a never bought flow, yes, but the win back flow only for people who bought once, stopped buying from around 90 days, but I'm gonna go into timelines more specifically right now. So when do you email these people exactly, right? So it depends on the product. If a product is kind of usable for a 30-day supply, I don't know, supplement or something that they can use for 30 days and it will mostly expire or it will just not be usable anymore, it will finish, right? Then you need to email them at perfect timeline will be at about day like 52 to 71. I'm going to explain why. Now, if they use the product for 30 days, right, and it's finished, if they will buy it again if they like it or if they want it, right? They don't need to be convinced to rebuy on day 30. That's why exactly we don't send emails on day 30 as soon as they finish. We send it on 52 because up until then, we're like, okay, these guys have some concerns, whether it's working or not. So let me send over here, right? This window, the spot is perfect. Going above like 72, they're going to forget it's too late. And if you roll like 100 days after for a 30-day supply product, they're just gonna basically will be gone. Now for a 45-day supply product, basically just multiply the number by 2, right? So there's a rough kind of average here. So if some product expires in 45 days, you send it on day 77 and maximum you can go to is 104, right? The ideal spot is like 90 days. Now, if a product is usable within 90 days or more, right? Let's say something else that can be used for 90 days. Yes, exactly. You multiply by 2 and you get 180 days on average. That's where you start sending your products. Now, you know that not all products, and you're probably watching this if you're this brand, your product probably doesn't expire. And that's fine. I'm going to show you how to deal with that, right? You have a product that's just like a refrigerator, right? It just like stays for years. But how do you win those back? How do you sell more to those people? I'm going to show you right now. And by no means, you can still send them an email after like 2 years of buying the refrigerator saying it was fresh, but there's a more efficient way to go about this. Now, where do you find that cycle? Where do you know where customers actually have to buy another one, right? Well, obviously, it's just your product. Like, let's say you have 30 pills, okay, 30 days, like that's simple. But sometimes you don't know. You can just look at your own page, by the way. Like a lot of times, it's just there. For example, for this brand, Ultra Lux Health, I was just trying to send them this deliverable. And what was happening is I didn't find anything on the page that says what is the timeline. I just give it to Claude and it found it, right? It just read the pages and say, hey, it says it's up to a year. And this one, this filter, tablets page, says like one time, so it's 45 days. 45, you send the first email, right? And I'm like, cool. So this is where you can use Claude. This is where Claude gets really, really useful over here, right? And it simply one shot at this email once again, saying, hey, that box was a 1 month supply. Like it's just very relevant with the timeline. But let's get into the next steps. So first of all, you need to know who exactly goes inside the segment of customers that you put the win-back flow in. Well, number one, they have to say yes to the email, obviously. Let's not forget about that. They bought at least once in the last 150 days. They have not bought in the last 90 days, roughly. Again, depends on the product, but this is the rough timeline. they're not on a subscription right now, and they have not already bought the refuel. For example, for this refuel, the gallons, right, for the water, they have to refill the thing. It's not necessarily a subscription, but they can just buy a refuel and not buy a new product necessarily. So if they haven't bought that one, yes, they need to be sent a Winback flows. Now, there are 3 emails that you need to send, and all of them are a week apart from each other, right? So again, we already covered the days, we already covered when and how. Now let's cover what emails to send. First email you need to send will be a reminder, right? So simply what goes in it, there's one line that says how long it has been or names that the thing ran out. Then a real reason to come back that is not money off. Like, don't train them on discounts in this email. And you need to make sure also, if you have any updates regarding the product, you mention them, right? What is new or how long their supply was meant to last. You're meant to use this product within 30 days. Another one is 3 to 6 of your best sellers. You need to put that below the email. And then as well as there's one button that needs to be there for them to click and rebuy again. Now, the point of the first email is to just bring back the buyer who just forgot about you. And it simply costs you nothing to do that. The second email goes a week after, again, a week apart, and is the actual deal that you offer them, right? So this one you make your offer because there are only 3 emails usually. Don't go more than 3 for this ones because your main kind of revenue for people who haven't bought or haven't lost or for anybody else will come from your broadcast emails, right? Winback flow is just to make sure you hold your broadcast emails accountable and actually add something on top for personalized. The second one is a deal, right? So what gone is in it? Basically the deal, the end date, the code, and the button all in one block at the top, right? I'm going to show you the example. And then you need to put the reason. The reason won't be the deal. You won't say like, because we offer you 30% off, you need to buy. You just make the reason specific to whatever the pain point is. Then you need to pick 3 products, and maybe if they bought something already from those 3 products, you need to put it in there. You need to put links to your other kinds of product in case they moved on from the current one. And as well as your return promise, your warranty, your guarantee, free shipping, everything else that you have in your value stack and in your arsenal, because this is basically the almost last email. There's one more email after this, but this is the one that comes with the design and graphics, so you need to really hammer that. Now the third email that comes 2 weeks after, it comes from a founder. So your founder, basically, he doesn't need to send emails, obviously, he just needs to approve, but like what goes in? No design at all. It's a plain text email. Again, I'm going to show you. It simply says the founder's name in the bottom. It gives them the code and just makes it very personalized. I'm going to show you a couple of examples over here. As you can see, as we see the first email, your name is still on the door, right? This is a Winback flow and big code over here. As you can see, this is a Winback and it says your tube ran out a while ago. Like you should have already bought a new one. So why didn't you, right? It then goes into some testimonials, shows more types of the same thing, as I told you. And then again, like in this case, it just offers them to show, hey, you've ordered one of the 6 products that we've basically have, right? You can order anything else. Second email over here, your name is still on the door. See, personalized to prepare them for the deal. And here's the deal. So you bought once and then it went quiet, which is fair enough. Here's something to come back to, and it will not work for anybody else. It's the only you thing, because you bought from us and you haven't bought, this is for you. So this is your code. And this is other products that they have, alternatives. As you can see, this is the founder-led email. This email will probably generate you the most amount of money, like out of all of the emails, right? It simply starts with a founder. We start with the AQT because XYZ. You tried it and then you stop XYZ. Just hammering their pain points. And as you can see, right, this line is very important because it's at the end and it just has literally one link. This is code, it's not a link. This is a deadline, it's not a link. It may be bold, but it's not a link. This is blue, right? In the Gmail, if you just send a text email to your friend or something and you put a link, it's blue, right? So they see this white kind of background, dark text, and just one blue thing they will click on it. They will click on it 100%. That's why this email performs the best. So you need to set this up in your third email. Now here's what it gets interesting, right? You have the emails. Now what products go inside them? Because it will be dependent on the company. What you sell then is decided by what they already own. So let's say they own points, right? They just have store credit. They have points. Then you just remind them of that. You just sell your main pain point, your main thing, objection, unique selling proposition. This. You have points saved up, man. And if you don't use it within like XYZ days, it's going to expire. It will feel like you're taking money away from them, right? It's extremely powerful. If they bought something that runs out, then you sell more of the thing. Your main objective is to sell more of the thing. You don't move to other products. You may be mentioning them a little bit, as I showed you, like the bottom. Main objective is to reorder, right? And if you have subscription, potentially get them onto a subscription. So you can offer that. Now there's another buyer that bought something with a part that wears out. So let's say the water station, right? They bought it, but they need the filter, or they need not the filter, but like to refill it, right? So you just sell the refill. Once again, very easy sell. And then the fourth type is they own one of your product types. And so that could be the example I show you with the cream brand or something. Yeah. And it says, as you can see here, it says you have one of 6 and shows, right? So if they did that, you simply sell the other products. Now, most people, what they do is they stack discounts on this, and I can see where they're coming from, right? They're trying to win back, and they think like, okay, if we don't win back, they'll probably never ever buy again, so we need to offer the discount. But that's simply not the case. I mean, if you send the email discount in the first email, this trains your best buyers to go quiet. Think about it. Out of all the millions and billions of people on earth, these are the small pool of people who bought something from you. They're familiar with you. I don't think that they will neglect you or something, unless your product really sucks, right? Unless that's the case, which is probably not the case for most of you. And so this trains your buyers to go quiet, right? Basically, only jump on whenever you have a discount or something, because you are sending broadcast emails every single week, right? At home. So if you do that, yes, they will never convert if this keep doing the discount thing every now and again. Now, if there's no deal at all, there's also another extreme over here. You will miss most of these people, right? And so that is the middle ground. That gets you the most efficiency. You don't miss out on a lot of people, but you also don't train them super much on this. Super much. Very new word that I just invented. Now, I would prefer if you make custom codes for each person. It's basically because it's theirs, right? It's a gift for them, and it will really expire for only them if they don't use it. But still would prefer this one to get the incremental increases. All right, let's see what our Claude friend says. It says their photography is genuinely good. How do you want the hero's handle? I mean, this is cool, right? It just found the photography and it's found that it's genuinely good. And I would still, let's try their photography. Let's see what happens. No, the fact that it knew that the photography was actually good is insane. Obviously, there was some training behind it, so it knows that photography is good by me, but yes. Now here are the metrics you should shoot for win-back flows. Just don't be surprised if these are the numbers, right? So open the email, probably like 30% will open it, and that's completely fine. If you can do more, obviously that's great. And also if you segment your customers to people who have been opening your email and still hasn't bought, then probably this metric will be like 80% or something. It's going to be insanely high. Now, there's also people who buy from there is about like 7% of people, which is pretty like a lot of people. So now on a normal store, when people just come back and buy, it's about like 5 to 8%. Let's call it 7% on average. When people just naturally come back and buy without the win-back flow, but with win-back flow, it gets like not doubles, but the 1.7x, right? So 12% increase, like almost doubles. It can actually double. It's about 8 to 15% on average. Now, about 45% of them, it's very interesting, they might not buy from their win-back flows, but they've been impacted by it. And so their probability of opening your next emails for your broadcasts rises, right? It's about 45% from now. Now, for this one, you need to set up the attribution, right? So what most stores will do, they will set up win-back flows and they'll count every single like sale within like week 1. Which is completely wrong. People simply can just see your subject line and exit, and they'll be reminded by you, right? So you need to make the attribution right here. Check it after 6 weeks, and you will get the right number. So if you check it after week 1, the actual orders might be like 41, but you might count like 6, simply because the attribution is right? Because these people will order it eventually at some point. And if you check it after week 6, you get like 38 orders, and then you'll be like, wow, where these came from? Now, before we move on to what Claude built us in during this video, let's just make a checklist of things that you need to 100% check. Otherwise, you're not gonna make it successful. So the send day is how often they buy, and just doubled, right? So if they usually buy 45 days, double that number, send the emails within 90 days, right? Now, if people buy one of your things fast and not slow, you set 2 send days. You set 2 types of send days, 2 types of winbacks, because one of them is a refill that, for example, bottle refill, right? And another one is the actual machine that holds the bottle. Now, the third one, the flow only starts for people who have bought before. Just don't mess this up. Anyone who buys needs to drop out of that flow right away. People who already bought the refill are left out, right? Again, that refill thing you need to left out. The first email has no deal in it. 100% you need to follow this exactly. The code works once it belongs to one person. So make the code really unique per person. The third email is a plain text from a named person, a founder, a team leader who simply reads and replies to the emails. The end date of the code is real. So if it says Friday, it ends on Friday. Don't be just lying to people. You set yourself a test and read it with images turned off. Now, the last thing, I didn't cover it in the presentation really, is that you need to send that email to yourself and read it with images off. What it does is simply explains to you and shows you how powerful the copywriting is. Imagine if they had no images whatsoever, would people still buy? And you need to keep refining that. Hello friends, and I've just finished analyzing more than 100 of offers for e-commerce brand in 2026 that are absolutely ripping right now, as well as a couple of case studies from the past and from right now to be able to determine for your situation right now. It's basically a quick game in a couple of 2-3 minutes, and you're going to determine that. We're going to cover more than 40 plus different offers that we've just found out. So after finishing this video, let's get into the presentation. Let me quickly ask you a question. What would you choose for a $25 shirt? Is that a $5 off or a 20% off? Well, I would choose a 20% off, right? It just feels nicer. Other people also chose this according to the studies that I'm going to show you. The next thing is, what would you choose? A $2,000 sofa, $500 off or 25% off? I would definitely do this, right? It's the same number, but it just feels nicer. Now for the shipping, what would you choose? What would you choose on a second book? 20% off or for free? I would choose for free. Why would I order the second thing if they're doing this weird 20% off or $1 off shippings, right? And I see this a lot. And so what I'm trying to point you out here is that all these situations are different and they require different offers for each of them, which we're going to cover right now. Now, first of all, I'm going to show you the studies. Number one study is that this company, right, on 2015, and also with confirming it right now as we speak in our own company, this is a big study that just tested 480 peso jacket. Peso is the currency. They made $120 off versus 25% off. It's the same number, but they just tested it out. And turns out $120 off outperformed the percent off by 12.4% on the perceived value and 16.3% on purchase likelihood, right? Completely insane. On a 48 peso item, 25% off beat the 12 pesos off by 5.8% and 11.1% in purchase likelihood, right? So completely different situations and different offer works best. And we're confirming this right now as we speak. That's why I'm getting like goosebumps from just by looking at this, right? This is insane. And so the crossover usually sits at around the number 100, and I'm going to explain why. So if you have a $25 item, right, 20% off will likely beat the $5 off. Same with here. But when you get to the $100 mark, as we see, what's happening is that these numbers are same. So $20 off is the same thing as 20% off, but it also looks the same. If it's more than 20 and I see the number 20, like I will choose this one, right? And so after $100 again, right, the dollar off outperforms by miles. At $600, the dollar showed at $120 and the percent showed at 20%. It's the same money, same in dollars, simply performs best if you use this. And the second study shows that you need to give more, right? So over here, there's this company. A store alternated like 2 offers weekly for 16 weeks on a $13.50 bottle. The bonus pack costs more per ounce. So what they did is they did 2 offers, 35% off and 50% more free. And so what happens is that for 35% off, people started buying and they would pay on average $8.76. They would get a 9-ounce water bottle and their price per ounce is 0.96, right? And the headline number just says 35. And they would get 31 cents per day from that, like in revenue, per bottle for free. So if you get more total, you get 50% off. People on average paid $13.50. What they got was $13 and 13.5 ounces, not dollars. And the true price per ounce was $1. And the headline number said 50, right? But they were getting 56 cents per day. Insane. So almost by double increase, which means that you need to give out more, but you don't need to necessarily lose to this. It can be the same thing in terms of the value, but the quantity of total people will increase, right? So this company did this, they ran this, the bonus pack costs more per ounce and still sold 73% more. They call this the cost-based value neglect. Shoppers compare 50 against 35 and stop thinking about any other details. This works the same with like buy one, give one free or just bonus packs and whatnot. Here's another study, and this is about free shipping. In any items, in products, in whatever you choose, is different category, right? So free and paid are different category, even though the difference can be 1 cent, right? So this study that this company did, I guess the institute, right? They had like over 50 studies. And they determined that when people go to your website, on average, 70.2% of them exit the website. 18% of those people are forced, like they exit the website because it makes them create an account. 20% of them, they see that delivery is too slow and exit, and 40% of them exit because of the extra cost on shipping. As a company that does free shipping, it's just your choice. But if you don't do that, then definitely do this. And the second book, right, offer a free shipping, because even if you offers like 20 cents off or 5 cents shipping, it won't work the same as free shipping. Or with free, you're going to get a much better result. And so now that we know that in different situations, you need to do different offers, freebies, dollar off beats percent off on $100 and above price tickets. If you give more, that's always better. If you give less, although this number is the same, and free is a completely different category. Now that you know that, and now that you're equipped, we're going to cover the 9 family, right? The 9 types of offers you can use depending on what your goal is. I'm going to list all of your goals that you can possibly have. Again, this is a full breakdown, full guideline, so stick to that. Now, if your goal is to get the first order in the door, to get their foot in the door, you need to use these types of offers. Number 1 is cut the price, right? So that includes percent off, dollar off, spend threshold, quantity break, bundle price, and strike through anchor. So percent off is basically 28% off everything or something like that. Dollar off is, I already showed you, dollar off. Now spend threshold is spend $100 and save $20, like these types of offers. You can also use quantity break. So 1 for $12 and 3 for $30, like that type of offer. Bundle price, so get the full kit and $89 instead of $114 if you buy them separately. Then you can use strike through anchor. And so this one is $120, but now is $79, right? It's like a strike through. That's what you can use when you're trying to get the first order. Second side you can use is remove the friction cost kind of offer. So that includes free shipping above X, 5 free returns, and free upgrade. I guess the free shipping, you already pretty much know about it. And I guess free shipping is pretty self-explanatory. Free shipping above X dollars, above like $35, for example. Free returns, it's not like an offer, but it's just in addition to your upgraded, you're going to get it for free. Basically, the new product will be free, or free shipping for the new product will be free. Another type of offer to get people on the door is cheap door in. So that's like $1 cost and first order only code. So here are the examples, right? $1 item. Hey, your first bar at $1, right? If you get it. Free plus shipping. So free sample, get this free sample, just pay for the shipping and we're covering everything. It works extremely well, especially if you did the launch of that product and then you're like, hey, we're giving it the sell. Then sample kit at cost. So try 5 for $12, credited back. So basically you pay us $12, you try these,
and you still get $12 worth of. What they can do is they can't really spend that $12 again. They need to buy a certain amount of products to be able to use that store credit, which is insanely smart. And then the last one is 15% off your first order, right? Just off first order only code. You can also reward who they are. So give a student or military discount, friend, referrals. I mean, that's pretty self-explanatory. You can also reward when they buy the product. So flash sale, expiring code, seasonal event, like clearance, early access, things like this, right? So 24 hours only, 30% off. Some like your codes end on Friday. Some like Black Friday, 25% off, site-wide. Final sale, up to 60% off. Shop the drop, 25 hours early, right? These are the ones when they buy. Now, if you want to raise the basket, the current basket that they have, if you're not getting average order value enough, you need to add this one, right? You don't really use these for that purpose. You use the cut the price, then remove the friction costs, and you add volume instead. So buy one, get one free, right? Let me actually cover that. Buy one, get one free. It's buy two, get three free. Bonus pack. So 50% more, same price. Free gift with purchase. So free travel size with any order. And a mystery gift, right? A surprise gift in every order this week. And that really significantly lifts the average order value. Now, for protecting your margin and not giving huge discounts on percent off, you need to use these three. Add volume, right? So basically the ones that add volume, BOGO, buy two, get free, we just covered it. And then you need to add these two. So pay them later and reward a commitment. So pay later will be store credit. Works extremely well, right? Spend $50 today and get $10 for March. You can also just have a store credit as a discount. Like it works extremely well. It's the same thing. But when you have a store credit, people feel like they're missing out, right? People feel like you're taking this away from them if they don't use it. You can also have gift card with purchase. So a $25 card with any order above $150. Points multiplier. So triple points this weekend. So if you buy this, you get a store credit like 3 times more. Cashback. So 10% cashback on this order. And reward commitment. And so reward commitment looks like this, right? Subscribe and save. So save 15% on every delivery. That's kind of the way it looks. Prepay or annual, 12 months for the price of 10. Pre-order discount, $20 off if you order before launch. And bulk or case kind of cases. A case of 12%. A case of 12, 20% off the unit price. That works. If you want to bring them back, you use these. You use pay them later, reward the commitment, reward who they are, and reward who they buy. And if you want to grow your product list, main thing that grows your product list is they hide the number, so mystery type stuff, and reward who they are. Like these two really grow the list if your current situation and goal is to do that. If you obviously want to do all of them, you need to just strategically test between each other and see which offers work best. But these were all the types, the offers that you can use. Now, here's how you can absolutely supercharge your offer with these kind of bonus things that go on site. Number one is the pop-up, right? So most people, what they do is just, they have the classic pop-up and it maybe converts at 5%, I don't know, 5% of the total store visitors. But if you do some gamified pop-ups with your offer and you get the email after they play the game, something like this, right? Scratch to review and they type in their email and they claim they're 15% off. What will happen is that your pop-up capture will increase to about 13.23% on average. This is a study that has been done and is published. It treated as directional. Obviously, I'm not saying this is exact results you will get. Nothing in this video says that, but this is directionally how your pop-up game will change. Now, as an e-commerce store, you have multiple email flows. They have to carry multiple different types of offers, which we're going to cover right now. And so the pop-up needs to carry some weight like a mystery offer, a free gift, and they just need to be tested against each other and tested against a just straight percent off. You just need to test it out and figure it out for yourself because every brand is different. Now, why? Is because the curiosity converts better than the number, and a value-framed gift can beat a discount while costing you less. And this is the most important thing. We're trying to save the margin as well. And so you need to never lead with your deepest percentage on the welcome. It feels the least with people who only ever want the code. Right? Give the good offer, but it shouldn't be the last offer that you offer for the last people who don't buy and never buy.
For the welcome flow, you use the exact offer that you use on the pop-up. That's pretty straightforward. For browse abandonment, so people have browsing and exit the website, nothing. You don't use any discount because these people are not really high intent. So maybe you can use a small flash % off, but that's only in the second email, and even then, I wouldn't recommend. So browse is a lighter signal. Relevance carries the first two touches, so the margins stay intact. So you need to keep the margins intact. Now, when it comes to abandoned cart, this is where you start introducing offers. In the first emails, you will maybe just remind them of your money back guarantee or the free shipping. And on the second email and the third email, you get to introducing the code, right? You also need to introduce the code to only those people who have never bought, right? If people already bought, you don't introduce any discounts in your abandoned cart email. Never bought flow. So this is people who have never bought from you and has been on your list and probably have been opening your current emails. And so in this video, in this flow, you're going to use first 3 emails to up the trust ladder. So give you the testimonials, the proof, and then you're going to have a discount and a hard deadline on a discount. Post-purchase flow. In this flow, whenever someone buys, you don't offer any discount whatsoever at all. Because the moment someone buys, that's the highest likelihood that they buy something else in that exact moment. Right? So you don't offer any discount. A code on a thank you cheapens the gratitude and teaches a fresh buyer to wait for the next one if they want to buy another. Right? Don't pay for a review. Don't pay for anything. Just don't be weird about this. Okay? They've just bought. They like you. Everything is awesome. Second order. This is a flow that just identifies, okay, they haven't bought like after post-purchase. And so the second order is basically incentivizes them to buy something else. And here you can give a fixed dollar amount off, but you need to make sure it's above a minimum, right? So you need to order this amount of products and this amount of money, basically revenue, to be able to get this fixed dollar amount. You can also remind them of your free shipping or 30-day guarantee or something like that. The reason for this is because the threshold lifts the order value, while a flat percentage just costs you more on a bigger basket. Winback flow. So here are the discounts you should use for Winback flow. A plain reminder first with like no offer at all at first. So Winback is basically people who bought from you a couple of months ago, they stopped buying and you remind them again, right? Now the code goes to email 2 and it goes as a unique person code. Like it's only for you because you've been in card customer a couple of months ago. It's only for you, like unique code that I showed you. And so because plenty of lapsed buyers just forget about it, so you don't need to really offer it on the first email. And email 1 just recovers those, right? And then the other ones get back to you. Here are the discounts you need to use for unused code flow. You need to use the same code at the same value with the real expiry date name. So it's already cleared and it already costs. Now, if they haven't used their code, whatever the code is, you just give them a reminder. Like you need to make 2-3 calls. 1, letting know of the discount. 2, reminding of the discount. And 3, reminding one more time, like last call. That's basically it. You don't need to overcomplicate this. Now people ask that, what about campaigns? Should I like send discounts on campaigns? And the answer is rarely, right? So roughly, if you're sending like 2-3 campaigns a week, maybe send one every like 10 cents. It doesn't train your buyers to be able to just wait for that discount, but it also gives them some incentive to continue being on your list and continue checking your email. Now here's another trick you can use to be able to lift your conversion rate on your checkout for your offers. So what happens, there's this university who made the research about what percentage of people abandon at checkout after they see the checkout, and 8% of those who abandon, they abandon because they see this thing little here, right? They see this enter code and they go searching for the code, and they, in the meantime, when they search for code, they forget about it, or they simply convince themselves that they shouldn't buy, right? 8% of people who abandon. So you can recover those 8% of people. That could be like 800 people from, I don't know, 8,000 people. Is that the case? So what you need to do, you just hide the promo code. You just hide that or apply the discount immediately there. That works even better, right? But you can simply hide this little thingy here, like enter code, and just give them an option. Hey, do you have a promo code? Click the plus and you will be able to
FY it.
Hello friends, and this is a definitive guide on how to avoid the spam folder and the promotions tab as an e-commerce brand who's trying to email their customers or clear. It's not going to be just one thing that I mentioned. It's not going to be about one specific thing that you're doing wrong, one solution to your problem. It's going to be a definitive guide from start to finish of any possible situation that you're in that makes you land in spam and how to keep you out of that place. So first things first, your email is fine. It just went to spam. No need to stress out. We're going to fix it. Now, there are many different reasons why you would be landing in spam. And one of the reasons, for example, is I'm going to show you actually a quick demo, right, that I did over here. It shows how basically, people land in spam, right? So first, brands start emailing their customers and they land in inbox, right? As you can see, little thingy here that makes you land in inbox. But as you see, did you see that? That was literally like a sniper, right? That's a person just marking you as spam. That's the worst thing that can happen to you. And so a person marks you as spam, and now this is more dangerous. And now one more person sniped into your thing and absolutely just James Bond. And then as you can see now, the thing flipped and now you're going to spam. Now here's what also happened. See? These people also fire a sniper. This is Google, because the more you land in spam, the worse your deliverability gets, because the worse your open rates get, right? People don't open your email. That also fires it. And so there's an attack on your deliverability from multiple angles. You need to be professionally handle that. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do that throughout this presentation. Now, here's a quick demo. A store might email like 40,000 people at once, right? Assume that all of these dots, right? One of these dots is one person. Right? And so what happens is that this literally happens. For you to just visualize it, right? This many people. And the more you send it, the less the dots get. Now, who picks the ones that got in? Who picks the blue ones? Well, Gmail does. And so we need to understand Gmail's and its gain. And so think of it as if it's like a 0 to 100 score, and 0 being absolute spam and 100 being main inbox, right? So different variables attack and just determine that score. So if you're about, like, let's say like 40, you're likely landing in promotions. You're not getting in spam, but still, like, your chances of being opened is very low in the promotions tab. And then if you're like above 70 score, you get to a main inbox most of the time. Now, here's what actually determines those variables. There are three main things. Number one is the setup, the technical setup of your email. You probably have it, but I'll just make sure you don't miss this part because it's very important. These are the small bits of code that prove the email really is from you, right? So you set them up once and they look after themselves for the rest of their lives and for the rest of your life. And this is the easy part, and it's almost never the problem. Again, it has been done most of the time, and it counts like it's simply very easy to set up. Second one is how you send it. So this is how often you email and how much you send at once, right? So it is also what happens that when you go quiet for a month, either you do that or you're blasting consistently. There's the third part of it, is that do people open it and do people interact with it to better put it in place, right? Gmail watches opens, clicks, and replies. It also counts how many people hit the spam button, and it basically asking a question. Does anyone want this email? If someone opens it, they definitely want it. If someone clicks it, they for sure want it. If someone replies, they need that email in their inbox. And if someone marks it as spam, they don't know it, right? As simple as that. Or if they don't open it whatsoever. So we need to start with the easiest possible, which is this technical setup. I'm going to quickly go over it. You don't need to be a technical genius here. I don't have a degree in all of this and in technicalities of this. I just learned this from a YouTube video just like this, so you can learn it as well. So as you can see, there are the three of them, right? SPF, DKIM, DMARC. I don't even know what these mean. I just know that I need to set this up. Like as a human, I just know. And so SPF, DKIM, DMARC. Let me actually reveal what it says. It lists who is allowed to send mail as you. DKIM, it signs each email so nobody can change it on the way. DMARC, it tells Gmail to do when the first two fail. Like, you didn't really need to know this. I didn't even know. I literally opened it and it told me, right? But you need to set, I've done it like multiple, probably thousands of times. And so for this, whatever your provider is, I think it's Google. Just go to Google. They already have some guidelines about it. Just search it up, like SPF DKIM DMARC setup for my emails on Google. That's super easy. Like, it's just going to guide you through that. You don't need to stress about it. You probably already have it. Now, the second part is what most people get wrong, and that's where I want you to really pay attention to, which is going quiet is the thing that hurts you, right? So you basically, what happens with Source is that they send like 4 emails, week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, and they just go quiet. Or maybe day 1, day 2, and they just go quiet for a while, and then there's a sale, like in week 11. There's some, I don't know, Black Friday or something, and you just do that. Of course, you're going to be marked as spam. You're not consistent whatsoever. I mean, think about it. Especially if you're not consistently sending, right? If 2 out of 10 people open your emails, why would Google show you 2 more, right? So you just need to think this through. Now, main thing, send email at a consistent rate. Avoid sending email in bursts. Right? Google says this in their own rules for senders. This is literally quite like the line from their guidelines. Now, what do you think? How many like angry people does it take you to basically be marked as spam and really reduce that deliverability score? Here's a graph. Imagine all these 1 person, all these dots, right? And so guess how many? 3, literally, out of like 40,000. If 3 mark you as spam, you're basically, your score will be very low. Now, it doesn't mean you can increase it, but this is the part of the game you need to deal with. So it doesn't mean you should stop emailing right now. It doesn't even mean you shouldn't like make promotions and sales. It doesn't mean you shouldn't send 4 to 5 emails per week. A lot of brands do like 7 times a week and they're completely fine. And I'm going to show you how to manage that right now. So probably 90% or 95% of you watching right now need to do what I'm about to tell you to do. This is gonna get very tactical, so you need to note this, either screenshot this, do whatever you want, but note this. This is very important. Everyone gets mail, just not the same amount. Like, remember this and sink this into your brain or your team's brain, right? You can email people who've opened your email list in the last 30 days. You can email them 3 times a week, right? You can just do that. For the people who've opened in the last 90 days, you can email them once a week. Open in the last 180 days, you can just simply email them twice a month. And everyone else, you can email once a month. Now, as you can see, you're consistent. You're just sending it to different audiences, and that's completely fine, right? Now, does it need to be exactly the same? And does it need to be forever? No. But I just want to give you the logic of it, right? So just think about it. If a person opens your email in the last 30 days or clicked your email in the last 30 days, they're likely to do it again. So you can send them more emails. And once you send them more emails, the more you send them, the higher your score goes. If a person, everyone else, Google doesn't really know that. People have opened your email in the last 30 days. It improves your deliverability. Do that for a couple of weeks, and then you can send it to people who've opened in the last 60 days. You don't need to follow this exactly. And then in the last 90 days. And then eventually you can blast the full list, right? But if you want to just make sure you maintain it consistently, this is how you do it, right? So once again, build it up slowly. Right now, as you're watching it, you're probably landing in spam. Do this. So send first to 1,000 people and get more open rates. Let's say you send emails to people who've opened in the last 7 days. This is the hottest people you have. And send again now to people who maybe opened in the last 14 days. And now you get more open rate, right? And as you go, you get more open, and it doesn't skyrocket up, but it does just stay flat at some point, 78% open rate or so. It does stay flat, and it's completely fine. I'm happy with 80% open rate. I'm completely happy. It's awesome. Apparently it's this, right? You send it, and then if you add more people, it plummets a bit. If you send more, and then you can keep doing that until you reach your full potential, right? And you add more people. Let me see what it calls, right?
But you got the point. So here's a quick visualization, right? If you mail everyone on day one, first email gets inbox, second email gets inbox, third email gets spam. And usually the email 4, email 5, those are the money emails and they go to spam, right? But if you email your best group first, you simply land in inbox all the time and you have the most amount of chances to get the success. And it basically takes 6 weeks to fix it. If you're wondering about the timeline, week 1, week 0, you basically set up the DKIM, DMARC stuff technicalities, right? If you haven't. Week 1, you send it to only of people who've opened in the last 14 days. Week 2, similar. Week 3, you get 30 days. 4, again. 5 and 6, you just basically blast the whole list. This is what people started to fix, right? You need to fix your bad words. You don't need to come up with spammy. Listen, if you're an e-commerce brand, you have so much words to say, so much spammy words like discounts that you shouldn't even care about that, right? If you're saying casino deal, casino deal, obviously like that's let us spam. But who says that? You say the normal words. Don't hesitate to say discount. Don't hesitate to say sale. That's completely fine because the main thing about deliverability is what I showed you right now. Let me give you the checklist. You can literally screenshot this, right? Add the bit of code called DMARC. Mail your best group the most often. Mail the whole list once a month. Send at least twice a week, every week. Keep sending on the weeks when nothing is happening. On sale day, mail your best group first and then the rest. Make mail that people are glad to get. And as you can see, that one is the last one, right? But just make sure they don't actually get annoyed by you. I trained Claude on hundreds of winning email templates for e-commerce brands and tens of hours of content about email marketing for e-commerce. In this video, you're going to learn about all of the skills I use in Claude to be able to design emails from start to finish. Now, and if you don't believe me that they're actually good, take a look at these emails, right? These were made literally today. Just take a look at this. I mean, this is beautiful. And this is not their pictures, by the way. This is literally what I've created with Claude and some other tools, which I'm going to show you. And absolutely gorgeous, very beautiful. And here's another example. Literally before this video, I made this. This is the abandoned checkout. And as you can see, very beautiful. And also, it actually makes people click because the copywriting is actually solid. Yeah, so here's another one. Very cool stuff. Knives and all of that, right? Yes. Very cool. I'm going to show you how to build this. The first skill that we use is the audit skill. So whenever I get a client, and now this you can use it for your own brand, I simply take all of their emails, right? I dump it into Claude and I give and say, hey, use the audit skill to make the entire audit for this brand name. And what it will do, it will go ahead, learn their brand language, learn their voice, learn anything about them that's relevant, learn all of their email sequences and point out what's missing, right? So it says what's working, what's broken, and what's missing. It will tell me exactly. And also, if it's not enough, it will tell me, hey, do you want me to pull the ad library they have? And I'll say, yeah, go ahead. It will have more ads, like more stuff of their brand. And it will be like, okay, this is enough for me to make the judgment and to know about their brand language. And this is how smart it is. And this is how deep the audit skill goes, as it was specifically trained that way. And before we move on to the next skill, let me tell you just how all of them work, right? How you should visualize it. Visualize it as if it's a manufacturing line. Basically, you have station A that makes a certain thing, let's say a toy, right? It chooses which toy to make. Section B goes ahead and makes the head. Section C makes the legs, and section D makes the hands, the body, and you name it. And after that, there is a section that glues it all up, makes it together, rechecks one more time if there's a specific issue with that, and launches it. Right? Similar, very similar. That's why you need to learn how they transition between each other so you can know what to do where. Next skill is the structure skill. In here, Claude simply goes ahead and pulls all of the information I gave it about the psychology of emails and how it should be structured. So each email, for example, welcome flow, abandoned cart, browser banner, each of them have different structures, different things to say in different places. For example, for welcome flow, you say first thing, like section B goes about say who you are in a line. Section C goes about recommend one product. D goes about proof. E goes about a one call to action without any external products, right? But as we can see, different flows and different emails have different structures. And so it goes ahead to the brand and learns about the brand first, and then it takes that information and says, okay, we need certain amount of emails because, for example, this brand is higher ticket. We need more emails for that. Then we need this email after this email. We need this structure in a way that it compels them to buy. It compels them to click. This structure to make them feel urgent, right? It makes all of these calls and structures everything in a way. It's basically a strategy skill. And so now that we have the design and structure, we move on to the next skill, which is the copy skill, which is by far one of my favorite skills because I had multiple businesses of copywriting myself. And so it pulls all of my data of copywriting mentorships I attended, masterminds, the winning templates, the winning scripts, the brand voice profile. It also takes the brand voice profile and the structure. It comes up and it basically just loads it up, right? Creates the copywriting that sounds non-AI. This is one of my biggest rules. And so if you would do it untrained, it would be something like, hey, let's be honest, you left something behind, not just a bag of coffee a morning. It's like, look at this, look at how it sounds. It's literally AI and it has M dashes, right? You already know, everybody already smells AI. It's very, very similar every single time. And so here, I trained it and now it sounds like an actual human. It now sounds like people who've been in copywriting industry for years, for decades, and have copyrighted for multiple billion-dollar businesses, right? And now that's how it sounds. Right? You can read through it and pause this video yourself. And basically, this is the one shot at, right? I didn't even touch this. So with that said, after it makes the copywriting skill, I go ahead personally, I edit it myself because I am picky like that. If you're not into this, no hurries at all. It's completely fine. It's just my personal preference to go ahead and edit it and review it one more time. And now after we've done that, we now have our most favorite skill of every other human being on earth, which is designing, right? The colors, the fancy stuff, the cool stuff. And so what will happen is that you will go ahead and you will take that information and paste it into a separate chat for design. I found that this works much better than doing all in a single chat. You're going to simply say, hey, summarize the chat and give me a hand-off prompt for a different chat to continue the conversation. Especially because nowadays, we have these context windows, so you can only spend so many tokens on this. You don't need to be technical, by the way, to know this. Just trust my words. Just take that information, paste into a different chat, and continue the conversation to be able to build the design for it. And so in here, you have two options. Either your brand has actual good photos of your product, like in nature, somewhere really cool. And you can simply say, hey, use my photo to build this. By the way, you don't need to do anything else here, right? I literally built this for you. You can just use it, right? I've gone through all of the pain that you need to go through. But essentially, yeah, you just say to build it. It will start building everything from scratch that you've already determined, structure, copywriting, the brand voice. Or you can simply say, hey, we don't have enough pictures. Use Nano Banana as a picture AI image generator to create it. And it's actually good. Like those images that I was showing you, let me show you one more time, right? This is all Nano Banana. Like this brand didn't have enough pictures, so I just created that. And look at this. This is super awesome. It's one-on-one with what they have on their website. Very cool. And again, you don't need to be technical here. It will literally walk you through. I taught it to walk you through. If in case you don't have an API key Nano Banana subscription, you can create one. It's very cheap, it's like 2.2 cents per image. It's super cheap. So you can go ahead and ask it. It will do it for you. And actually today, literally today, I made a new skill that I've thought about, which I called the Terminator skill. I don't know why I called Terminator. I guess it's a cool name for a skill that goes and it reviews everything and searches for defect. And again, here I just paste the things to a different chat. All of the images, all of the things that we've created
to a different chat, I found that works better because, again, the context is limited and design skills take a lot of context and credits and whatnot. And so I paste it and I say, hey, turn on the Terminator skill on this. It will go ahead and literally roast the heck out of that email and say what is wrong. Why have we followed our preferences, our rules, our non-AI language? Have we followed our designs? Have we followed the brand language and so on, right? It will just double check, double, triple check. We all know AI hallucinates these days a lot. So we need to make sure it checks everything one at a time, right? As you can see, run the expression and it will say what's correct and what's wrong and how to fix it. And then you'll simply send it back to that manufacturing line. Maybe you'll say send it back and it will go ahead and create your prompt for a different chat to fix. I want you to be an actual professional and not these absolute amateurs who just use AI just for the sake of using it. I created one more skill for you, specifically for you to be able to run this. And it is the orchestra skill, right? What it does, it simply manages all of it for you, right? You don't need to have me there. You literally can have my brain inside your account and manage all of the things for you because things will break. Skills will break. You need to be able to fix it and it will help you out. And along the way, it will use that skill to help itself if something goes wrong, right? So it simply runs the full build and it makes a log of everything that happened. So you can actually improve on it day by day. So your first email will be the worst, right? Hey friends, in this video, I'm going to cover how I would run email marketing for Cristiano Ronaldo's underwear brand CR7. We're going to cover the pop-up they have. We're going to cover the entire funnel from start to finish and how we would improve it and also what we would add on top of what they're currently doing. Not much they're doing currently right now, so there's not much in the video. With that being said, here's his website that I've entered, and here's how they ask for the email. Immediately pop-up appears, and it says new to CR7. This is immediately the first mistake. Never just put your offer hidden in the subheadline. Put it on the headline. Say, we offer, subscribe for 25% off, subscribe for 25% off. You need to scream it, right? I really like this GIF, but not screaming it will make people not understand what this is about. Nobody almost reads the subheadline and they exit. They exit here, whatever they can. Another point, there was a study that showed that most people just want a commitment before even getting the email. So a commitment could be some sort of a game. It also could be just a question. Do you want a mystery discount? That's simple. And then once you click on that, it will redirect you to give your email. That's a commitment and it increases the lift of your conversion rate on your pop-up. So Ronaldo's pop-up is simply a box that says 25% off. Now it should be at least in the headline, but also, as I said, they don't gamify the pop-up. So what I did for them is create this little pop-up game. Let me show you that this pops up. It's a penalty shootout. As you can see, Ronaldo is a soccer player. Right? This is very relevant to him. And so then it says score a goal and get 25% off. They score and then we ask for the email basically, right? That's how you do it. And then immediately they get to copy the code, which wasn't the case for their pop-up. What it would be worth is that right now probably a plain discount pop-up converts at about 2 to 4%. If you take e-commerce store average, it converts about 6.9%. But the gamified pop-up that I've just did will convert anywhere between 9 to 13%. That's from the total store visitors, the website visitors. Insanely high number, right? So it will almost like 6x or 5x their current number. And so now this is my favorite part over here. They sent me 2 emails. I've added things to cart, I've exited, I've added to checkout, I've exited 2 emails on a welcome flow. Thanks for signing up. This picture without even the underwear, like you can't even see the underwear, right? That's it. And then thanks number 2. Literally, thanks again. A month later. At least we see the underwear here. At least we have it here. Yes. So this is the problem. We sent 54 emails on their entire journey. There are 54 emails for the flows that they will enter, right? Maybe some customers won't enter every flow, but at minimum 20 for those that every single time go through your store or go through your email, right? So we need to make sure we up the game and we set up other flows. They currently have a welcome email. We need to have a welcome flow, which is 6 emails: abandoned cart, abandoned checkout, a browse abandonment, second order, cross-sell, win-back, never bought, unused code. 9 flows there are, right? That we need to set it up. So this is the first thing that I would do for their brand. And I would double down on the flows, because flows make 18x the revenue per person than broadcast emails, right? They're not even sending broadcast emails, but I wouldn't even try. I would first focus on flows. And this is the quick ratio over here. Flows, the share of the flows, so the amount of emails the flow sends versus the campaign is like 5%. So if you send like 100 emails, only 5 of them are from the flows and 95 of them are campaigns. But share of revenue is different, right? Share of revenue is 41% for flows and campaigns for 59%, while sending 5% of the total emails. Insane. This is a study, by the way. It's in clothing brands specifically. It was a study made, and they identified the specific number, which is insane. So, how many emails, how many flows Ronaldo actually needs? Currently, they have running a welcome flow, some sort of a welcome flow. They would need the others. Now, here's the most important part of the first emails that you need to send to your customers. There are 4 jobs that it needs to do. This email that Ronaldo sends only has just one email. It tries to fulfill for all of those jobs, right? Deliver the code, tell the story, help them choose whatever product you have, and close the sale. There are 4 jobs. This email tries to do it all and so on. And so OmniSend, MailChimp, and Klaviyo are the biggest email senders on earth right now, right? The softwares. And they have met these 3 metrics they have given us. 90% is the lift. So you get 90% more orders from a 3 email welcome series than from a single welcome email, which is what they are doing, right? MailChimp says you get 51% in revenue lift by sending multi-email against single. And Klaviyo says there's 40 to 60% welcome flow open rates compared to 25% or 18% on campaign side. What this shows is that you need to actually make sure you're focusing on your welcome flow. You're double down on your welcome flow, and that's what I would do for their brand. Second, what I would do is passion brands abandon harder than anything else. That's just the fact, right, that we know. So the rates are all of the e-commerce stores, probably like 70%. This is the study that was made by Baymard University or Institute. Fashion apparel was 76%. And fashion, like top of the range of the fashion apparel brands, were 85%. I would keep it at here just because of Ronaldo and his brand. But yes, so I would set up a welcome flow, and I'm going to show you the welcome flow that I did for them, right? It's a very simple one that I didn't put much time into this, but at least it's something that we need to rely on. So here's the welcome flow that I did for them. It's not super fancy. I didn't put a lot of time into this, but I still made it better than them, of course. So we start by saying, welcome to CR7 underwear. You get 25% off your first order. Use code, like big words, and then immediately the button. And then we see Ronaldo here, so make sure we familiarize with them. And then we tell the story of the brand. After we tell the story of the brand, we give them the best sellers, right? The best selling products. And one more button over here. The second email goes into the one more time, the reminder, and then more story, right? Since 2013, we've been serving our customers. One more button. Why CR7? Well, CR7 was launched by Cristiano Ronaldo and Danish manufacturer, etc. What's special about this product? Why it works this way, etc. And then by the end, one more code and one more discount, the same discount. The third email goes more into objections. So which pack is yours, right? Shot 25% off. And people have objections about certain underwear, I guess. And so we're going to be tackling these kind of objections per product over here. And then by the end, we offer one more button and give them the 3 best sellers one more time. Then we go over details, and that's about it for that email. Now, email 4 is a reminder of a code. Actually, you're still unused. Your 25% welcome one has not been used yet. Claim 25% off. We see the thing where his abs, I guess.
And then we go into the best sellers one more time. And we finish up by having one more button. And so number 5 email that I haven't done yet will be a simple plain text email. The one that you send to your friend. And I would make it from Ronaldo. Like I would say, hey, it's Cristiano here. I saw you haven't used the code, etc. But you need to use it, whatever, right? Or maybe Cristiano's assistant. If they're like, well, we don't want to ruin his brand. It doesn't ruin your brand, but we don't want to ruin his brand. So maybe Cristiano's assistant. We'll just write it as a plain text email to those people. Converts really, really well. Alongside this, I will create them an abandoned series. So there's 3 abandoned cart emails that they need to have. It's browse abandonment, cart abandonment, and checkout abandonment. And so what happens with browse abandonment is that people just view the product. They've entered your list, so you know who they are. They view your product and they leave. In this case, you send them 2 emails. You send them within like an hour and within a day, right? Send them 2 emails. I would do that. Second is cart abandonment. Cart abandonment is someone went there, added to cart, and exit. 3 emails come from this flow. And then finally, the big boss is the checkout abandonment, where the most money is. We said 4 to like 6 emails for that. And in here, people checked out, like literally added shipping, went to that thing. They were already pulling their wallet to take their cart, and they exit. And this is the hottest. That's why I send more emails to them. So the general rule of this is that email 1 reminds, email 2 names the reason why they choose you. Email 3, there's no code until email 3. So make sure you have no discount code until email 3 because you will train your customers on discount. And email 4 says, hey, you need to claim your discount that we offered you in email 3, right? Or email 4 should be a discount. Like you can change it out, right? This is how I would recover their current sales that they have. And there's another layer to flows, which is underwear is never like a fashion. Nobody sees underwear unless you really advertise it, right? Now, the thing about underwear specifically, and apparel specifically, is that people rebuy it a lot, especially underwear. Like it's not for fashion, right? It's more so for use, for comfy, for having something comfortable. And so every order makes the next one likelier. Yeah. So far, we've welcomed them warm. We got the most amount of money from welcome flow. Then, people who went through that welcome flow, went to the cart and exit, we recovered those, right? We recovered all of those sales. Now, the next is to make them repeatable. And the way we make them repeatable, especially for an underwear brand, is so easy because these people are coming for repeat purchase. Like they need this constantly. Underwear rips or underwear just gets old. And it's not really for fashion. It's not like a bag that gets, ripped. It's not for fashion that you take care of it, right? You just wear it every single day. And so there's 27% chance. This is a study that has been made, right? 27% chance of a second order after the first, specifically for apparel. There's 49% chance of a third order once they've bought twice. And 62% chance of fourth order once they've bought 3 times, right? And so knowing this, I will offer them 2 flows, cross-sell and second order. These are 2 separate flows. Cross-sell flows, make sure you sell some other item that they haven't bought yet that makes your current item better. And second order, make sure they bought the same thing once again, right? 2 flows again, cross-sell, second order. Would set this up. Now, there's also people who have bought something, have bought, and then they exit, right? So once again, quick reality check. We've welcomed them. We've recovered our sales. We now make them repeatable. And so there are 2 more categories of people. People who've bought once and never bought since, and people who haven't bought anything whatsoever ever, right? And so there are 3 flows that we're going to implement for all of these people. Winback flow, never bought flow, and unused code flow. So winback flow comes up when somebody bought something, they haven't bought anything since, right? And so in here, in a replenishment category, winback has an unfair advantage. For CR7, this winback flow has an unfair advantage. You know roughly when the last pack wore out, so the timing is not a guess. Winback usually handles some sort of a objection. Now, Winback is more so a reminder type of flow, right? Most of the times people just forget to buy or forget that they even bought this thing from you. Maybe they've bought it from something else. Maybe there are other products are mixed up with yours. So they simply forget. Winbacks are mainly kind of forget-based emails. Never bought flow is more so objection. So if they've never bought, there's a reason. So you need to tackle objections and you need to show proof and testimonial. Unused code, there's like 2 emails for that one. 2 reminders, that's it. For unused code, if a person haven't used their code but still is opening your emails, just send them 2 emails, a reminder, and the last reminder. That's about it. Now, we have 9 flows. So now we've covered every single person that there is, right? Every single position that they could be, we've covered. We covered them all. We generate more revenue. Everything is great. But the problem is most people land in spam. In fact, CR7 just landed in spam on my channel, on my Gmail, right? Not spam, but the promotion box. And so how do we get out of that? I'm going to show you right now. First, we're going to authenticate their current mailboxes, technical setup. Then we'll make sure we only mail engaged people first, right? So people who are opening our emails within 30 days or opening our emails within like 60 days or clicking on our emails. We're going to mail them first. So then once they open and click one more time, Google trusts us more. We will then sunset the rest. So a sunset is basically clean up of your list, right? The flow whose entire job is to stop sending. It lifts every other number on this page. So give them the flow, the sunset flow saying, hey, basically we're gonna stop emailing. This is the biggest discount that you'll ever get. Otherwise, just bye-bye, right? This is the sunset flow. And all the time limit tools take me to do all of this is 4 weeks. So this was how I would fix Ronaldo's emails. And as far as I'm concerned, we've done pretty much everything to make sure their brand is